Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike. AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Who would have thought it this time last year? We'd be talking advancing in the NBA playoffs. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
A2D Radio. We're live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. BMW of Atlantic City, right off exit 17 of the Parkway. Find them online, BMW of AtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, though, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Dan McGuckin, Ryan Brodo, Frank Vespi, 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. How are you? Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, the site. We love you. We're here. We're going to be talking to you all night. Tons to talk about. Sean Couturier, and guys love, I know me and Ryan were talking about this. Guys love bringing up the, hockey more than any sport. All the injuries come up after the season. I love it. They all leak out. Like I was hurt in training camp. But where are you? We're going to say something. And we're not mad about it. Talk about it. We'll get into some Phillies talk, Eagles draft strategy. We'll have live reaction to the Phils as well. Heavy Sixers, though, boys. Heavy Sixers. A lot to talk about. And obviously the Eastern Conference semifinals. And our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. With their first round matchup, still very much in doubt. Who would you rather the Sixers face in the NBA Eastern Conference semis? Boston, Milwaukee. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. As well, you're on the YouTube side of things. Subscribe. We need you. It's all about family talk here. We need your concerns, your comments, and we'll have a little something to talk about NFL draft-wise when we get into that. What we'll be doing over in the A2D Real Talk group as well. And we'll have an article. Our little rankings are dropping tomorrow morning on our socials around 10:30, so there's Plug City, okay? Now let's get moving. Let's talk about it. We'll be answering your questions over on the book. I will. Mr. Mataraki over on YouTube. Greg's around. Danny's around. Boys, are we fired the hell up? I mean, think about it. Think about where we were. Think about it.
I feel like I should be more fired up, but I kind of had that feeling that Miami was going to be kind of easy, so it's like this is like the calm before the storm for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if that's what I'm saying. I'm fired up because I think it's going to be the Celtics. So I'm fired up because I want to shove it up a lot of things. One, Boston in general. Two, Portnoy and the Jabrones. So there's a lot of things. And I just think we're a better basketball team too. I think we're the most dangerous team in the entire NBA right now. And the reason for that is third quarters. The good ones, the great ones, that's their quarter. Last night watching the game, I just kept saying, relax. If they open up the third and it looks the same way, then let's be concerned, okay? Right. Yep. But until they open up the third, if they play the way I think they're going to play in the third, just chill. Aaron Rodgers, relax. And what do they do in the third quarter? Hey, how are you? Want to play basketball? Next thing you know, we're up 15.
I got a question for you guys before we even get to the poll question. You're in a tight game on the road facing elimination. Like, did Goran Dragic not do the absolute dumbest thing you've ever seen on a basketball court? Like, why are you going to smack Ben Simmons in the back of the head and get him more fired up than he already was?
And you're in a basketball game. It's one thing if it's when you're down 15 and then you're going to pull stuff like that. You're in the basketball game at that point. Yeah, you're in the basketball game at that point. Well, listen, they had to play that way. They even stay and even get a game in this series. So, listen, I'm happy with the dub, and it's just ridiculous. Some of the things they did. But, I liked it because I thought it was a little 90s basketball feel, what they brought to the table. And I like how Ben handled it as well. Shrugged it off, and he just got more aggressive offensively. You notice every time something like that happened with Ben, where'd he go? Oh, he went right down the he went right down to the rack.
Right down the boulevard.
He wanted to play with you a little bit, yeah. So our poll question, if you're just joining us, who would you rather see in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals? Celtics? Bucks.
I will turn off this damn TV right now. Look, focus.
Boys, who the hell do you want to see?
The
Bucks. I know you want. Don't you start yelling. I know I'm yelling, but don't you yell back.
Give me the Bucks.
The man is talking
All right.
over here.
Danny says the Bucks.
I want the Celtics. I want the hardest road possible
Absolutely.
so that there is no question how good this team is.
Exactly, because think about the Eagles, right? I wanted Tommy, and I wanted New England. I wanted the whole thing. I wanted all the chowder. I didn't want just a little cup. I wanted the large clam chowder, the biggest one you got, because I want to take it down.
The red or the white?
It doesn't fucking matter. I know what you're saying. It doesn't matter. But that's the thing. I agree with you. I want the Celtics. Mike, who do you want? Did he just say that, Greg?
Greg.
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 Oh, the flight to Cali can't come quick enough. Let's go.
He's going to get hurt running around the base.
Yeah.
He's going to trip over third base.
That was a shot, too.
That was a shot.
We'll go for him. You got his foot down.
You're a major league hitter.
Yeah.
Projected 421 feet.
All right, we're going to get to all that.
Out of 071.
We got tons of people chiming in. So
all right, look, here's the thing.
Where's Matt Kruk at? I know he's coming sooner or later.
For me, I want Milwaukee. And I hear what everyone's saying about Boston being the 2 seed and Portnoy and the whole deal. And Portnoy can take his own finger and shove it up his ass.
Yeah, nobody disagrees there. He probably does.
But for me, I got reasons that I want Milwaukee. Number one is I don't want to have to listen to Boston fans bitch and moan that, you beat us without Kyrie. You beat us without Gordon Hayward. You beat us when Al Horford wasn't 100%. All right, you know what? Fine, kids. You guys take the rest of the year off. We'll come back and we'll beat you next year. This year, we're going to go to Milwaukee. We're going to take that stupid fucking owner who wants to talk about trust the results instead of trusting the process. We're going to take the freak. We're going to take that fraud rookie of the year from last year, Malcolm Brogdon, and we're going to sweep them. And I want the home court advantage against them. I'll beat them twice on my home floor by a combined 60 points, and then I'll go to Milwaukee and finish them off out there.
I don't disagree with you. I just know who we're getting. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be one thing if I felt like we were getting Milwaukee. Obviously, Milwaukee's the easier road travel, and why would you not want to go that road?
And you get to
because I want to abuse
Mallory Edens for at least 4 games.
Because I want to abuse them. I want to abuse them.
But we're probably going to get Boston, and I would like to abuse them, and I think we can abuse them.
And I'm okay with that.
And I think we.
But Danny, tell them what you said, though.
All right, so on the way here, it's 2 super average teams that can't win on the road. So we're obviously going to get the Celtics, but I want the Bucks. But I don't know.
I love that line. 2 super average teams that can't win on the road.
Who's that? Milwaukee and Boston. Yeah.
So none of them are going to win a road game. So it's obviously we're going to get the Celtics.
So if neither of them can win a road game, I want a home court advantage. I'll take the Bucks.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I automatically say game 1 and 2 we split. We split 1-1 in Boston. That's a lock, and I wouldn't even be surprised if we took 2. We're that good of a basketball team. I mean, it's time to really realize. And I don't know how many times I got to say it. You know, and people see it. You see how good we are. We're dangerous. So there's so many different lineups that we can run out at you and hurt you from so many different ways. And the whole thing starts with having Joe back and be able to go inside at times and get those buckets.
It's so peaceful to sit there and watch this game and just have a feel like just know we're not going to lose.
Yep.
What are we 20-1?
So it was like last night. I watched the game at PJ's just for the first half. Came home in the second half. The first question I asked was, "Are they starting to pull away?" Because you just expect it. You expect that, and they come out, they make their adjustments, and then they start to play basketball. They start to ratchet down the defense, and they just start to wear the teams down. And that's what they've been doing.
You're absolutely right, and it's crazy. But I actually said last night that, for me, the best move that Brett made last night was putting TJ in that game a little bit earlier. And I understand that Ben had some foul trouble, but he put TJ in that game a little earlier than he would have. You know, Markel's kind of gone to the back burner at this point. TJ dominated that game on both ends of the floor for about 5 minutes. And it was crazy to watch your little...
Yeah.
I thought Ben played the whole first quarter.
Third quarter. Talking second
third quarter.
Second half, yeah.
Lock in.
No, we're talking... And it's crazy to watch, watch your little 6'3", no jump shot point guard just basically dominate both ends of the floor for a good 5 or 6 minute stretch.
Yep, you don't win Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year twice if you can't D it up at least a little bit, So let's get to the family. Tons of people chiming in. James Wilder, he says, "LOL, the Bucks. I want the Raps, Cavs, and Celtics eliminated in the first round."
I love Wilder's on both chats too.
I love it.
Good
The double dip.
He's
Gotta love double dip.
Double dipping.
Rob Brinkman, give me the Bucks and home court. So he agrees with you there, Mike. Not that I disagree with that. I just believe we're going to get the Celtics. Ralphie D, I'll just wait for the Eagles talk. Wait for the family to invite you to the table, Ralphie. James Wilder, graphic on YouTube is excellent. I mean, James, we're here for the people. You know what I mean? Ralph says, fuck you, James. So that starts there. Sean Hayes, living in New England, my Celts friends do not want to play the Sixers. I'm thinking, dudes, your Celts still have to play Game 7. So he's saying to them, like, you're already thinking ahead, but they do not want to see us. I love it. I love putting fear into people. You know what I mean? Or they didn't even see you yet, and they don't want to see it. They're not even at you yet, and they don't want to see it. They might lose now, Mike, if they're thinking ahead. They're thinking ahead. And he says he would love to knock off the Celtics as well. Sean Spielman, it doesn't matter who the Sixers get. Sixers are doing the Coy Detmer TD pass dance. Yes, whipping out that big boy, smacking both of them. Only time you hear me use the Eagles as a reference. Yeah, that's
true. That's very 100%. True.
And Deion Brown, what's up, Deion?
What are we drinking, Deion?
He says, what's up, fellas? Let's talk about it. Celtics or Bucks, either team will meet their doom, essentially. All right. He said wrath. But I hate I'm not a good – that word never comes out well. See you, boys.
YouTube chat. Take it easy, fellas. YouTube chat. David Roska chimes in. 76ers will blow past Boston or Milwaukee in the semifinals. He also says Rams should get Lamar Jackson and Dez Bryant. Brown should bring back quarterback that they have and bring the other quarterback to play for them for 2 years.
Was that Lamar Jackson to who? To Rams?
Lamar Jackson to the Rams.
LeVar? LaMelo?
Is that LaMelo?
Actually,
Ralphie just perked up.
I would
ball talk.
I would not be surprised at all if Lamar Jackson got drafted by the Patriots.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Really? Anyway.
We'll get into that. Deion says loving the new YouTube graphic as well. It's dope. We're evolve. You know what I mean, Danny? We're evolving right in front of our family's eyes. We're growing up. You know what I mean? We're growing up. Sweet 16 party type.
By the way, my timeline is blowing up with Altair references.
And rightfully should.
I'm not going to say anything about Frank putting the topics in the wrong order.
Sorry, Williams is still better.
Because the graphics are pretty special.
Well, you can't win them all. You know what I mean? We're hitting all the 4 of them topics. You know we're hitting all 4. If you're that much of an idiot, just jump off of YouTube. Just stop. Come over to Facebook or Twitter where you don't got to deal with the graphics if you're that dumb. And you don't realize, like, they're going to talk about all 4. Okay, I get what they got.
And, Frank is a good guy in the community.
No, yeah, he builds a lot, puts a lot of trees in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Really.
He flies around from place to place and does his thing.
I had another poll question that we talked about Sunday that I thought we could just throw into the mix.
Sure.
Just to add in. And I didn't want it was in my notes, so I'm like, we just add it in.
Go for it.
But it was, are the Sixers a team to beat in the Eastern Conference playoffs? Sort of ties in to everything we're talking about. I know the answer, babe. I know the answer, what the answer's going to be, but I know some people out there might not think so. Yeah. So I want those people. Now, are they on the couch? Are they a team to beat?
Yes.
Right. I mean,
what roster, top to bottom, is better?
None.
Like our bench is sick.
None.
Like it's crazy from the beginning of the year to now how the bench is just like
that much better.
Yeah.
When we were talking earlier on that it wasn't. Remember we were talking earlier on that it wasn't like that. If you really talked about the bench when we had that conversation earlier in the year when we were struggling, it wasn't an NBA finished roster.
No.
It was guys who really it was TLC getting way too many minutes. Justin Anderson getting way too many minutes. It was guys who shouldn't be on the court getting minutes in spots now where you're dropping guys down and now you're deep. And you're deep because that's great moves, to be able to bring in the Bellinelli.
Thanks, Brian.
And Ersan. But yeah, I agree. Team to beat. And guess what, Dean? I'll even go as far as with Steph out. There's not a better roster
if
the Rockets, in the NBA. Okay,
if the Rockets
just with
get to
Steph
the finals,
I'll see the Rockets all day. I would love.
I know what you're saying. We're beating.
I would love to play that game.
Sixers Rockets finals will win.
We'll play a little up tempo, James. We'll play a little up tempo. Let's go.
Here's the thing: even if you lay the rosters,
I love all our matchups. So
even if you lay the rosters side by side and you look at it, talent wise, if you did find another team in the East that would, what are you doing? Coming back to put them in the right order?
No, you forgot something. What did you forget?
If you look at it, even if there was a comparable,
just swoops on in there.
Yeah, just swooped right in. If there was a comparable talent level, I still don't think there's another team that's going to beat them 4 out of 7 in a series. Not in the East. Maybe in the West. Maybe Houston.
I say Golden State with Steph.
With Steph?
Well, without Steph, no.
No.
And the reason that is
it's Joe.
Because you're absolutely right. Not only Joe, but they play defense.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
The whole team.
Oh, yeah.
The Sixers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, so is Golden State.
Yeah.
I mean, Durant, say what you want. He'll D up.
Oh, he will.
He really will. I mean, he'll get up in your shorts a little bit.
You hear Brett talk about it all the time. When they ratchet up the defense and allows them to get out and run and get some easy buckets, whether it be actual layups or the transition threes with those shooters, that's when they're at their best.
I agree.
But it all starts on that one end.
I agree with that completely. And one of the things that I've been hearing a lot over the 5 games of this series is that the Sixers are giving up, quote-unquote, too many points. This isn't the 90s NBA anymore.
Right.
The evolution of the three-point shot, the way that teams run, you're not going to see games consistently in the high 80s to low 90s anymore. And I think the Sixers have found a formula where they know that if they can keep a team below, call it like 105 to 108, they're going to win that game. Because you know they're going for 115 to 120.
On a bad
minimum.
But even when it's a close
one,
game, you see
On a
that's when
bad
you see
night,
our
Mike.
defense clamp up.
You're absolutely right.
That's how you know we're a good defensive team.
Yeah, when you need to. When you
Yeah.
need to get stops, saying 100%. When you need to get stops and you get those stops, like we talked about in the third quarter when the good teams take over, and you get them. And it's just because we can hurt teams from so many different ways. And plus matchup nightmares that the teams can't handle. And 2, we have whatever you want to call it, 1A, 1B, best big in basketball, and that wins, especially in playoff time. You see it. You see it over in New Orleans right now with Anthony Davis, what he's doing, because big men win chips, and when you have some guys around, you can play a little bit. But he shows you how special he is because he's getting guys who. You want
reincarnation of
yeah.
and Rondo.
You got guys in groups begging for Drew back. Like, are you guys kidding me? Are you guys freaking kidding me? We're going to the Eastern Conference semis, and we're talking about we want. Oh, we should have kept this guy.
I know.
We should have kept this guy.
There were people ready
Can
to
I go
drive.
slap somebody.
There were people ready to drive him to the airport, and now everybody wants him back.
Yeah, I love it. Right?
I love Drew, but
people begged for it. People were like, I got 10 on it.
So James Wilder in the YouTube side says, round 1, Hollywood got on board. Everyone picking the Sixers now, LOL. So we don't need the hardest road. They will create the narrative that we deserve it now, and it won't matter who we play later. Smart move by Boston fans not wanting the Sixers. Byron Bay, OZ1111 says, what did you think of Ben Simmons' fall? And I know you had a response to that.
I wanted to sprint to the Wells Fargo and slap the shit out of Richardson for a minute. You know what I mean? Let's talk because that
Thank
shit.
God he got up because some guys like to sell shit. If he sold that, I would have been really scared because that was an ugly fall.
And that was real early, too.
And you listen, you don't. And they were right on the TNT broadcast. Said it. I mean, there's unwritten rules. That's something you just don't do. I don't. The game gets physical in the playoffs. Everybody gets it. I love a chippy. You know what I mean? I love when it's chippy. Go upstairs on somebody. Don't go low and low bridge somebody and take a guy's legs out when he's in the air.
Yep.
That's a no. And, I would have loved I like that we held our cool, but I think if Ben, like you said, if Ben would have stayed sold it, somebody's getting ejected because somebody's going hot.
And if that's later in the game where a guy like Anderson's on the court or a guy like, one of the, TJ or Amir or,
Amir likes to get it,
You know what I'm saying? So, at that point, there's
the
a later in the
Celtics,
game.
The Celtics like to get chippy, too. I have a feeling, and I don't know how long we're going to keep our cool like this, but eventually someone's going to lash out, and it's going to be on our – like, I don't understand how we keep our cool like this. Like, eventually we're going to –
Well, you saw JJ did it last night. He got the technical on himself and said, that's on me. I know. But he had to make a point that he got the rack, got fouled, didn't get called, and then he was good the rest of the game. And he got the calls the rest of the game, too.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Got some feedback on the Twitter as well, by the way. Brock Millennial says he wants Boston. Turd Ferguson says, I don't care. So I'm thinking he's pretty confident that
I mean, with a name like Turd Ferguson,
you better be confident.
You better be confident.
I mean, I don't care who we play either, honestly. But it's going to be the Celtics, most likely.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be the Celtics, so let's go get it. I don't care about excuses. They can have excuses all they want. Excuses don't matter. We've seen teams with injury histories. We've seen teams with worse injury histories than they have, right here in our hometown in the Philadelphia Eagles. With worse that got it done. So the excuses aren't at the pro level. I don't buy into the excuse game. You still got tons of talent. You got early first round picks on your roster. You're deep. You got a great coaching staff. Okay, and so do we.
Yep.
So let's go. And that's what it's going to be. And I don't have any concern that we're not going to get over. I mean, I think we go 6. I know Danny was thinking,
5.
Something less.
5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right in there. It's 6 games just because you have to account for Boston's the number 2 seed for a reason. You know, they won a lot of games. Brad Stevens, right? Brad Stevens?
Brad
Stevens. Yeah. Brad Stevens is a hell of a coach. You know, and they do have talent. You know, they're gonna be a tough matchup, but I just think we're gonna be able to wear them down just like we did with Miami.
I know. I'm not saying we're gonna blow them out. I think it'll be a tough 5 games, but I don't see them winning more than 1 game on it. I don't know. I just don't see it.
Well, when you got the home
I
court,
get they have home court, but still, I don't.
I just see him getting one.
I don't.
Maybe
when we went up to Boston the one time this year, they didn't have Kyrie, and we just smoked them. Like I feel like
the kid's on board with you, but it's playoff basketball. How much you want to throw? How much you want to throw on a game difference right now? Because I'll load up. I'll load up and go 6 and over. Then I'll take the 6 and I'll go over.
It's not that
which
deep.
is giving him a lot of wiggle room down there.
Welcome to Hyper Danny. He's fired up about his team.
Was another fucking cookie or what? Was it the cookie?
No, he's good. He's good.
Fired up about his team. Shit, Danny, I've been here longer, babe. You haven't fired up about your team. I'm right with you. I sat through slop. I sat through good times.
I've never seen a good – at least you're alive and 01. I've never seen a good Sixers team in my fucking life.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's good to have you.
You're
right. You're right, because even 5 years ago, that wasn't a good team.
Welcome to the couch.
Welcome to the moment.
Yeah, well.
I'll give you a Sixers term. Welcome to the moment.
Go.
Yeah, they only got 42 different, terms and hashtags and uniting, and it's great.
Andre and Jew on the table. That wasn't a good team.
No. Wasn't.
But I mean, first time in the Eastern Conference semi since 2012, and let's not kid ourselves. Their trip to the conference semis in 2012 was
fun, but
it was very injury related.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, they don't get by Chicago if Chicago's healthy.
So
There's no way. It was absolutely.
Sean Spielman, who fears you on the Celtics? Nobody. I mean, for Christ's sake, they have a guy who doesn't even have a real ponytail. I'm a Jaylen Brown guy. I like Jaylen a lot. I always have.
I like Tatum
one of your infamous moose knucks.
Yeah, I like Jaylen.
Now that we've dispatched the Amish Mafia.
It's Mafia.
Was it Olynyk, Tyler Johnson, and Goran Dragic?
Yeah,
the Irish Mafia.
There's so many.
Amish Mafia. Yeah, the Amish Mafia. Selling meth in Lancaster County.
We found them
out the back of the horse and buggy.
We found them. It was them the whole time
with a crank light because they can't have electricity.
Rumspringa.
Dion says, Sixers stop or slow down. Boston's inside scoring will be fine. We are young enough to run and gun with any opponent we face, and I 100% agree with that.
And
even better. I think we're even better if you want to run and gun. Yeah. If that's the style you want to play, you're going to play up. You're going to play to our strengths. Yeah. I mean, either way, even if you want to slow down the game with us, we moved the ball so well in a slow down game too. So I mean, pick your poison. And that's what makes it so dangerous. And I think that's why we can all sit on the couch and the viewers and everybody commenting in can be so confident because that's that kind of basketball team. They can play so many different ways. And like we've been talking about, they get stops when needed.
Yeah,
they do.
Meanwhile, Scotty Jetpacks has just struck out for his 6th consecutive at bat.
And it's just part of it. It's part of it, and I'm not concerned, not even one bit about it.
He'll
right
adjust.
Now. And we'll get into Phillies talk as the show goes on, even though it's highlighted up at the top. That's not where we're at. We're at Sixers talk. But,
we're going to jump around a little bit for you.
We're going to jump around, and anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about. Real simple.
Here we go.
So, we got nothing?
No.
All right.
No, you got nothing. Okay, all right.
Actually,
good night.
Thank you and good night. Staying with the Sixers for a minute, though. Do you think that the rotation is going to change up at all, depending on who they play in the next series? Could we see Markelle getting
I think Markel's going to get a second chance.
Do we think he gets his minutes back, or do we think Brett's kind of at the point now where he's gone to JJ and he TJ, and he likes that?
Nah, I think Markel's going to get a second chance.
I don't even think it's a second chance. I
don't think he got benched, per se.
It wasn't for anything.
I mean, he played 14 games. You can't be ready for him for the playoffs already.
Exactly. And I think that's where I just don't think he –
especially being guarded by a Hall of Famer. So.
I don't think he's going to play because I think what TJ brings is something you need in the playoffs that a young kid who's played 14 games, to your point, Danny, just might not bring, even though I love Markelle.
Yeah, but I mean,
I love him. But right now that's working. So you don't change.
If you're playing Boston, who's Rozier or like
what, TJ can't cover Rozier? You think Markelle's covering Rozier?
I'm just saying, like,
no, TJ's the better
I'm talking about the other way around. Like, it's different from Wade to Rozier.
Oh, well, Rozier's faster, obviously. It's quicker.
I know, but I mean, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's gonna D him up better? out of the two.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm saying.
Where
though,
he's
is that
going
if
with it.
Does Markelle get minutes? Does he get more minutes if they play Milwaukee as opposed to Boston? Does he get, minutes against Boston? I mean,
it's going to be interesting.
He just lit up Milwaukee for a triple-double in the season finale. So if you want to talk hot hand against a team, he's your guy.
Oh, I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also the last game of the year. How intense was that really game? Because
they were playing. They were playing to keep their draft.
I want to ask Danny a question. What makes you think he does play in this series? Like, what just a gut feeling? What makes you think?
Well, part of it's my gut feeling, but I don't know. I don't know if he get like. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, all right, he was really lost in the first 3 games of the series. Like, I don't know if it's gonna make him lose his confidence or whatever. If he even has any, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So you just.
I think he should just reflect, and then he'll come back the second round. Like, I feel like Boston's just a better. I know Boston's a good defensive team, but Miami, I don't know. Miami just likes to get. I really have no idea. I guess
it's all right.
It's Markelle to you.
Yeah.
Like, you love Markelle.
That's your boy.
I mean,
yeah.
I think
and I love him
I think
too.
it'll be very similar to this series. I think Brett will give him an early run in 1 or 2
and see how he does.
See how he transitions, see how he adjusts.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all sat here and said, he played 14 games, and the one thing you can't replicate in practice is a playoff mentality,
right.
Especially with a guy that's been injured.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, God forbid he gets fouled hard, and then he falls and he re-injures it. Then what?
Right. Well, I mean, the last time we saw him was what, game 2?
3.
Yeah.
Okay, 3. But limited.
Game 3 was only in the first half.
Right. Limited minutes in 3. But I mean, we all saw what happened with game 2. I mean, game 2 in the series was when Miami basically turned the series into a wrestling match.
He only played the first half in game 2 as well.
Right. So it's a situation where Brett gave him the first half of game 2. He didn't respond to the physical play. He gave him minutes in game 3. Was a little better, but probably not what Brett needed. It's not a knock against the kid. But, maybe to Danny's point, is either Milwaukee or Boston a better matchup for him where we could get more minutes out of him? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to cross that bridge when we come to it.
Think about it. Against Boston, like Tom said, he's either facing Rozier, Smart.
Well, what are you looking for in the playoffs? Because you got scoring. So when playoff time comes around at this moment right now, what are you looking for?
You need defense.
You need somebody who's going to get up in a drawer. And TJ brings that. He brings a little toughness that you need in the playoffs.
I wouldn't call Markelle a bad defender, though.
I'm not,
No, he's not
I'm
a bad
not
defender.
sitting here saying he's a bad defender. I'm talking about 1 age, 1 games played, 1 the moment, and 1 what you need. Markelle can score the basketball. Flat out score. I'm not saying anything about him defensively. He flat out score it. But right now, you have tons of scoring all over the court. You need a guy who can come in and do some dirty things for you to help you win in playoff basketball. And it's not a knock at all.
And that's not him yet.
And that's not a knock on all Markelle. If he played more games like I begged for him the playoff freaking year, then it would be a different story. He'd be playing right now.
Well,
I just think they got him to work at the end of the year just to get that confidence back. And then as the playoffs went on and the way Miami played, it's like, okay, we're going to go to a little.
I think you gotta. I think you got to take a wait and see approach. I think there could be times in a series where Brett could maybe go to him for a little bit of a spark. But I mean, if you just do just a straight up comparison, I mean, is Markelle clearly a better scorer than TJ McConnell? Yes, he is. Markelle is what, 22 months removed from high school? Played 1 season in college on a pretty bad Washington team. You've already mentioned it once tonight. McConnell's a 2-time Pac-10 Player of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year. He's got the NBA experience, and at playoff time, experience is what's going to get you over the hump.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
And a guy who knows the system as well as he does, and a guy you can trust in there.
And
so it's not a knock. It's just the way it is. It's just the way the lineup's going and what worked.
Right, and not that this has anything to do with it because it doesn't. But when you talk about experience, you talk about how he's only played 14 games. You mentioned it. He played on a bad team in Washington in a bad conference. What close game was he ever in?
Right.
You know what I mean? And he played on a loaded team at DeMatha.
You know what I mean? If he played 50 or 60 games, it's a different conversation.
You're
you know what I mean?
absolutely
It's a different conversation.
Because you've
when
been
you
through
play
those
14,
ebbs and flows of the NBA season.
Yeah, when you played 14, it's like, okay, the end was to get your beak wet.
Yep.
You know, we brought you out in the early.
So that if you do have to make a contribution in the playoffs, whether it be a jump shot here, a layup here, a free throw here, you're ready.
Right.
Sean Spielman, we'll talk about this in a little bit. He goes, if the Giants don't draft Barkley tomorrow at number 2, I'm going to do a number 2 on A2D steps. Just because I'm out, fellas. Go Sixers. Listen, bro, I beg Tony Dell, Nikki's brother, today, please, I hope you guys don't draft him. I hope you don't draft him. I don't want to see him. He's the best running back in a decade. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says. That's factual.
Oh, if anybody thinks that the kid down in Dallas is the best running back that they've ever seen come out of college, wait until you see Saquon, because it's
one little thing I have with Saquon. Only twice he went over 20 carries. So it was, I don't know. I just think
okay, fine. He went over 20 carries.
Is he going to be an absolute workhorse? I don't know.
Right, but he went over 20 carries twice.
Squat 500 probably.
Now let's not talk about carries and let's talk about touches. Guy gets 8 receptions a game coming out of college. He's probably the most complete running back to come out, like you said, in at least a decade.
Easy. What do we got coming over here? Mike Parker says, right now, TJ is tougher and scrappier.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. And he says, one thing they equal in, they both got a triple-double this year. And he goes, let's fucking go. So, exactly. You know, we're semantics. I mean, it's really semantics, TJ Markell right now. At the end of the day, we don't give a shit who's playing. Just, you know, we'll see you all on Broad.
Yeah.
You're all on the same bus, most likely, going down Broad. That's all we give a shit about.
We'll toss some cold ones to Markell because we know he can't get him himself
Can't
yet.
get him himself. That's funny.
Just like Danny.
I can get it myself.
If you can't, we got it. Well, you know what we mean.
You got him. I'm good.
Greg's got him.
Oh, yeah.
Get it. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah.
What else you got there on the Facebook?
Doug Zeke. What up? He goes,
Zeke.
yo. He said, no more cookies. Staying in the house tonight. And James Wilder said, Raptors won.
Cleveland's up 6.
And Cleveland's up 6.
So Raptors, that's the
3-2.
series, or 3-2.
3-2.
Okay.
Because they can't win a road game either.
A lot of.
There's legitimately nobody in the East that scares me at all.
Right.
No.
No.
Raptors. I've been sitting here telling you guys all season the Raptors are an absolute fraud of a number 1 seed. For me,
How do
Boston.
you lose both games? That's,
If Boston doesn't rattle off 16 in a row at the beginning of the season, they're not a number 2 seed.
No, not even close.
They've not played anywhere near top 3 seed basketball since that streak ended.
Right.
No, you're right.
I mean,
you really got to look at that.
Right now, a lot of people could say that. Oh, the Sixers rattled off 16 in a row at the end of the season.
Yeah, but that matters more.
It matters a hell of a lot more.
Definitely,
Now I
Mike.
understand that one by one they count the same in the standings.
But they don't when
you're
one
getting
when-
hot at the right time.
And they
Yeah,
don't.
right.
They don't when one's done with Kyrie, and one's done without
Without-
Ersan and Bellinelli. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the different comparisons. Now you swap out Kyrie and you had Ersan and Bellinelli. It's like, oh, okay. You know, that's why this team's playing better basketball. It's real simple. You know, losing Kyrie, that 16 in a row was a long time ago,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
in my opinion. And that sets you up for the rest of the year. You win 16 in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to really play terrible basketball to not be in good shape. They play good basketball, but not to, like your point, not to anywhere where they played earlier on.
Not top 3 seed basketball.
And James says, come to Canada, Dan, I'll get you wasted.
all right.
You're gonna get him a 2-4 flat.
And he says,
I'm down with the Canadian lingo.
yeah, he goes, 18 plus, fuck that. Fuck that 21 shit. That's good.
Oh my God! I tell you what, man. When I used to go to Canada on business a lot, and it was crazy being 28, 29, 30, 31 years old, walking into bars and clubs up in Canada, and there's like 18-year-olds in there, and you're just like, wow, I feel old. They're like, oh, I'm legal. Okay. So, James, God bless you, brother.
He's enjoying himself.
And go Winnipeg Jets.
He's enjoying himself up there. You know what's funny though? The last time, when we were in the playoffs, we went this far. It's so different, right? I mean, it's just amazing how different it is.
Oh, the expectation is what different. Back then you were just like,
I remember
we got there.
After them free throws from Iguodala, I was like, oh shit! Like it wasn't as fun because like obviously Rose was injured, but like I thought it was, I don't know, it was funny because Rose was injured, like, and no one expected this, but we got it. It was just like something nice. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the energy level just on its own is absolutely amazing because back then it was just every game was hold your breath. Hold your breath and see what we can do. And now it's kind of like
Collins does to you.
yeah. Now it's like you come in and it's swagger because this team they know that they deserve to be there.
It's also a lot of fake excitement surrounded by this group, though. All the bandwagon jumpers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? All the fake noise you hear from the fake fans. You know what I
Right.
mean? Whereas that was more, that was more just your Sixers fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that
because
completely.
it wasn't pretty. Now it's pretty to hop on with the Joe train and the Ben train. You know what I mean?
Now it's like the in thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you're not, you're a problem.
Right.
Right? Tanio Michael Bryant. We need to have a couple of years to our bench players' contracts. Yeah,
I had no issue.
Bellinelli and Urson. I think
had no
that'll
issue with that.
I think that'll get handled after the year. I'm not there yet.
Look,
we can talk about
we'll
it.
Figure out how to get him under
Yeah,
the
we're
cap.
not there yet. Mike Parker, Greg, did you see 171's 3-run homer?
It's not 171. It's 071.
It's 071. And regardless of what his average is, he will always be 071. Yes, we did watch it live here on the show. Way to join us, Mike.
And James says, everyone bugging Greg tonight. Guy hits one home run. Everybody's all over him. You know what I mean? You would have thought the guy hit 3 tonight.
Yeah.
Really all over. But it wasn't a big spot. It usually doesn't hit. When was that? The 6th when he hit that?
6th inning.
Okay, because usually
Usually
his are 7 or later.
Or
when it don't matter.
Or in a meaningless
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah,
What's up,
which a
Dave?
lot of times 7 or later can happen.
When does Nisek get back?
Whenever his vagina heals.
What
See,
how did he get injured?
I think
Oblique.
Nishek, the
Vagina.
oblique. I think Nishek was supposed to start throwing off of a mound this week.
Bruising.
So. You guys are rough.
Because he's just like what he did last year was so freaking soft. I felt like he just, he wasn't going to pitch certain days because we weren't a good baseball team. He was always saving himself to get.
Yeah, but he
traded.
said he wanted to come back. When he left, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm happy to have him, but it's like, come on.
See, and it's funny
Where you
because
at?
you think that's soft, and normally I wouldn't argue that with you. To me, it was smart because he knew. I think there was some handshake agreement behind the scenes that was basically like, look, you just use me enough for me to go land on a contender. I'm going to go try to win a ring, but I'm going to come back to you next year as a free agent. And just don't use the hell out of me so I actually have something left when you trade me. Other part of that, too, is if they knew he was going to be their trade bait, you can't wear the shit out of the guy because your return sucks.
No, it just so happens that he was so worried about getting hurt.
That he got hurt.
Now he's freaking hurt.
Now he's a veggie.
No, so, yeah, they don't really have it's not a timetable set yet on it.
It's not, because it's such a fluke injury and
obliques are weird.
Yeah, they're weird. You don't,
Yeah, I think
It could be a couple weeks. It could be a couple months.
Yeah,
it's just one of those weird ones.
They had initially said he was supposed to start throwing off a mound at some point this week, but I haven't heard any reports that he has.
Well, it's nice to get Tommy Hunter back.
Yeah.
That was huge to get back and start putting some guys in some roles out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you really want Nishek back for is mostly just to get these guys in the back end of your bullpen all over, just in their roles.
Yep.
So you can start moving forward. I know Gabe loves to run out there, so he loves to get these guys in roles. So guys know that he's coming to him with the ball in situations.
While
It's
we're
important in the pen.
While we're talking about Gabe for a second, what about Gabe showing up in Reading with the fedora the other night when the Phillies were off and putting himself in the second row behind home plate and watching the Double-A game?
Was he? I didn't even know that.
You don't see managers do that like ever.
Was there a laptop in hand or
No,
just
he just.
It was just a lap dance.
Well, all right, two things on this.
on a tanning bed?
And I know we got some Gabe talk coming up, but one, I've actually heard him use the term eye test twice in the last week now.
Welcome to the
so,
party,
So,
Gabe.
welcome, exactly.
Dropping
Welcome to
the
the
profiles.
Party.
Our player profiles
He
both here.
profiles
Profile's great
nicely.
here. What did you just say?
Profiles nicely, yeah.
Racist
But
bastard.
no, so it was Monday night. The Phils are off. Reading has a 6:45 home game, and he's actually sitting second row behind home plate in Reading, watching the young kids just. And he's incognito. He's got like a jacket
Hazley,
on and a fedora. And
Yeah.
now Hazley's still in Clearwater.
Oh, is he still in Clearwater?
Yeah, we were
Well, you
actually
said so
just.
much,
Is that Moniak?
No, that would be.
Nobody.
Who's in that outfield?
I don't think he was watching the outfielders. I
Mitch
think he was
Walding?
watching the.
Well, I'm just saying who's on.
Mitch Walding still there, or is he in AAA
No,
now?
Walding's in AAA. I think he was watching the pitcher. I think it was Keelamay that was starting for Reading that night. Yeah, it's,
Okay, yep.
It's crazy right now when you look at the Phillies system how big of a gap that they have now with their talent, because all of their talent right
All the
now,
young stuff's here.
yeah, all of their talent right now is at the major league level with a few guys still at AAA. And everybody else is down in Single A right now. There's like nothing at Double A.
Bad swing out of a double right there, but the guy's going to win a batting title one day. I'm going to keep saying that.
One of my buddies
Screenshot this.
saw Sixto the other day down in Clearwater.
Dumbest thing ever, by the way.
What?
Who?
Screenshot this.
I'm
so over that term
Yeah,
already.
I said it today.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Screenshot talk.
That's your man.
So I'm sorry, Greg. You were saying
No, I just said a buddy of mine saw Sixto, I guess 2 weeks ago.
You guys all know that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I can't wait for that.
See,
He said he got hit around.
Really?
Yeah.
So is he throwing 104?
He was throwing up there. I don't remember what exactly
104
what it was.
can go out, too.
Yeah.
The conversation Danny and I were having though was Clearwater talk with Hazley. I'm still just convinced that in terms of the system, he's going to wind up passing Moniak.
I think he already has.
I don't. It's not a knock on Moniak. I just think
Is Moniak even at Clearwater yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just think with
One's just a better hitter right now.
with Hazley coming out of college, he's just he's more mature,
advanced,
bigger
yeah.
body, advanced. Better knowledge of the strike zone, stronger. No issues with Moniak at all. I think Hazley might be the next guy that we see
I still deal
who gets fast tracked through that system.
I still deal with Moniak. I really do.
I have no problem with that.
As good as my outfield is, when I have a guy batting in my 3-hole right now playing center field who, was a walking 300, and I know what he is, and he's young, and I have him under control for a minute. Well, why not just deal him and go get yourself another top of rotation arm just to add in with all these arms? Because we say it, you can't have too many. We're doing this without Jared Eichhoff.
Yep.
Think about this: Nick Pivetta, Aaron Nola, and Arrieta have been that good.
Right.
Just that good. So when them three are that good, what happens is 4 and 5 doesn't matter as much. There's not as much pressure for 4 and 5 to win baseball games like Velasquez last night because 1, 2, and 3 are getting done. And that's what a good baseball team does. And this is what this team is. It really is a good baseball team.
That game last night, though, was the weirdest thing. When you have both starters get pulled at 4 2/3 in a one-run game. I've never seen that before. It's a 3-2 game, and both starters get yanked at 4 2/3. Neither of them gets to figure in the decision at all. And you got a guy, Robbie Ray on Diamondback's side, he's at almost 100 pitches at 4 2/3. Guy's got a ton of strikeouts, but he's also all over the place. And then Velasquez, same thing happened to him last night that happened to him when we were sitting here last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, we watched him in Atlanta get the hit, drive in the run. He gets to second. All of a sudden, he comes out the next inning. He's got nothing. Last night, he has an at-bat in the bottom of the 4th. He didn't get a hit, but he battled through the at-bat, fouled off a few pitches, goes in, probably doesn't take a minute to catch his breath, comes out, warm-up pitches, inning starts, and he's all over the place.
Yeah, well, he couldn't locate his curveball for anything, his off-speed.
Jared Dyson takes you deep.
Yeah.
And he went way deep.
But everything was up in the zone in that last inning.
Yeah.
Everything was up in the zone, up in the zone, up in the zone. And you knew he was going to start getting hit around
and
real
it's funny
soon.
because Gabe said it last night in postgame. He said when a guy throws that hard, don't mess around with the curveball. Use the curveball what did he say? He said you need to use the curveball advantageously. And Vince fell in love with his curveball last night, and it cost him.
Oh, he did. He really did for whatever reason. Now, one, okay, your fastball's up, but then the curveball was up. The curveball was up, so now everything's up. You got nothing low in the zone. I don't care how hard you throw. And that's when he got in trouble last night. And that's even before. Dyson's ball was up in the zone and he hit out. I get all that, but this final inning was everything was just up, and you saw. That's where I need the eyes to jump in and be like, okay, let's get him out of here.
Pootie Tang just chimed in. Damn,
what up, Poot?
Damn, LeBron with the game winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
44, 10, and 8.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
And now he's
you.
Jordan.
I
Hold
see
on.
you.
Can I say something about the Phillies?
No,
Go
he's
ahead.
Jordan.
No, it's wild. All right, if they win tonight, they'll be, 15 and 8?
Correct.
That's the team they're betting 230. How wild is that? Imagine when they're going to start hitting. Maybe 100 games, 100 wins.
They also lead Major League Baseball in errors.
That's crazy.
Kind of tells you why their starters' ERAs are so low because they're giving up a lot of unearned runs.
It's like the Sixers though, early on. A lot of turnovers.
Yep.
Sloppy at times. Same thing with the young baseball team. You're going to get some You're going to get some errors.
A lot of strikeouts.
And all that fun
It'll
stuff.
all even out.
But
Double play this time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You could say it out loud. The microphone's going to pick you up anyway.
Nah. Oh, I got an alert though. End of the 8th, so he has to grind into a double play.
Yeah,
Aaron.
there it is.
Yeah.
Where's all my Altair guys now?
0-7-1.
you cheating ass little pumpkin.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said anything.
He actually said it before the alert came. I'll give him that credit.
All right.
But that is funny.
Maybe.
phenomenal.
He
Way to
probably-
call it, Danny.
He probably gets multiple alerts.
Way to call it. So listen, if you're just jumping in, poll question. Sour Patch still on the
Yeah,
gum.
Sour Patch. Sour Patch talk.
Who would you rather see? Okay, the series isn't over, but who would you rather see in the Eastern Conference semis? Boston, Milwaukee. Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Also, another little poll thrown in. Are the Sixers a team to beat in the Eastern Conference Finals? Yes or no? Jump in. We'll talk to you. Read it off. We're going to be talking Phils. We're talking Phils right now. A little Eagles draft strategy as we move forward.
Are we going commercial free?
No, and Sean
right.
Couturier. No, we're gonna, we'll be here for the full hour over on the Facebook side. We'll jump off of the book. We'll head over to the site, YouTube, and we'll jump off of the Twitter. And they know where to find us. Come on over to the YouTube.
Bada bing.
Check the brand new graphics we got out here. We had them.
They are pretty
We had them
sweet.
3 months ago. And now they're back. That's all
We
I gotta say
only
about
bring
that.
them out for special occasions.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Should be. They will be here now for every show, just to confirm. Confirmation talk.
Beauty.
Good talk.
Mike Parker, I'll take Milwaukee. Joe DiPietro. Sixto is throwing 101, 102, but you got to hit a little.
The guy that was there.
In his first start a couple weeks ago in Clearwater, stuff looked good. He's had another start or two since then. Watching Phil's playing Tampa, that stadium is awful. Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, that's my buddy that was down there. Saw Sixto. Thanks, Joe.
I'll tell you what, though. I'd be more than happy if Sixto consistently hit 98, 99, but could spot his stuff. And we've seen that before with other guys coming up through the system.
Yeah, they're young.
We'll see what happens.
What's he still, like, 18, 19?
He's a puppy, maybe
Sixto?
19. Maybe 19.
Oh, yeah. I think he's like 18.
Yeah.
I mean,
Deion Brown, Phils need to bring back those wonderful old school uniforms much, much more often. Real rap. The blue ones, Deion. Talking about the blue ones I
powder
love.
blues.
Oh, baby.
It's Thursday night home games.
Yeah.
I love when they actually match with the hat,
Right.
but then the helmets look like crap.
Yeah.
Mike
Wait,
Parker.
helmets?
Noah
they
over.
had the maroon helmets.
Noah over Arietta with a side of pavetta cheese. Sounds like a high-class Italian dish.
Nah,
Oh,
know
it's
what
amazing.
I hate? It's the sleeves. They don't have the
Yeah.
regular sleeves.
That's what it is. They had the helmets. They don't have the
Oh, is it?
sleeves
Okay.
or the spikes.
Yeah.
I love the blue.
It looks
Pop
awful.
Montanez. What up, fellas?
What
Just
up,
tuning
Pop?
in. What up, Pop?
Arietta looked cool, though, because he doesn't wear an undershirt or anything.
No,
So
he's a gangster.
Yeah.
Because he's a man.
And then after tonight, he'll wait for the entire bullpen if they win.
That's what I really
He'll wait
like.
for the entire bullpen, Danny, to come on in, and he'll give everyone a pound. That's leadership.
And he
Danny.
won't do an interview until
Leadership.
they're all
Before
in the
then.
dugout.
Until
Yep.
that.
You all wait around. He said, I don't care, Murph.
Yeah, and then he makes T-Mac have to fill time.
Yeah.
T-Mac can't fill anything.
Nah,
let alone time.
Can't fill the double play ball.
Pootie Tang says, give me Milwaukee simply for home court advantage. David Rosca also says Philadelphia versus Milwaukee semifinals.
No.
Mike, what did he say?
Oh, wait. I
Conference.
thought he said Indiana. I was
No.
like, never mind.
Mike
Milwaukee.
Murphy. Gotta want the Bucks. Home court is big. Playing Boston, they lose home court. Yeah, I think we all agree with there, Murph. We just know, deep down
Yeah.
who's coming.
It was cool. It was interesting. I guess not interesting, but it was awesome to hear Brett confirm last night talking to Molly. I really enjoyed that interview.
Yeah.
But confirming how special home court is and how much they enjoy playing home as opposed to the other team that shares that building that just can't get out of their own way at home.
A big-time class move by J.J. Redick last night, too, with I don't know if everybody saw it, but they had the cameras.
We posted it, so you better damn
we
saw
did
it.
see it, but they had the cameras in the dressing room after the game, and the player of the game gets to ring the little version of the bell.
Give it to Brett.
Yeah,
Give it to Brett.
Brett hands it to J.J., and J.J. basically says, nope, Your first playoff series win, hands it right back, you ring the bell.
It's not the first time JJ's done that either. When we beat the Spurs the first time, he gave it to Redick, and then Redick gave it back. Said, "Now it's your first win against Pop. You ring it."
Oh, nice. So there's precedent. I like it.
Yeah.
Pop says 5-3 Phils, top 9th. Does Hector hold? Let's hope. I said, playing good ball, Pop.
Pray.
Playing good baseball right now. And, you know what I do like? And let me tell you something, okay? Because we got 9 minutes left, and I'm just going to confirm this for the people. Gabe Kapler.
Do we need to sit Indian style in a circle?
I feel like we do. Let's light a fire. With the
Hold hands.
What Gabe
Kumbaya.
what Gabe Kapler did at the beginning of the season, oh, praise Jesus. All right. What he did that first series, terrible. Terrible.
I was disgusted after that first game.
And anybody with half a baseball clue, like anybody, like any person out there with half a baseball clue is like, yo, that's not how it's done. Like, what's he doing? You know what I mean? Like, where it's that obvious.
Yeah.
And we're like guys who we're all baseball guys here, okay? More than anything else.
More than anything else.
You know, we're baseball guys. But there's guys who are more baseball guys than us that are saying, yo, what's going on here? Like Chip is. Like what happened with Chip. Like guys are starting to call him out. And what I got to – and there's no crow to be eaten, okay? Crow's when you get something wrong. We weren't wrong. But what we do see is a guy who was open. And that's all I think we can ask for from anybody at any coach at any level. Are you open to learn and to learn more things and not say – and not have tunnel vision and say, I have it all figured out. Something Doug did great. Something I think Brett's done great. You know, and obviously winning knows you're doing something good with it. But I see him.
Something that Hackstall's not doing.
Exactly. And I see him learning to use his eyes, even though I think Nick Williams should play. Okay, but I see him more use his eyes. I see him allow his starters to go more, especially his real arms. And he's learning. But what he said about I'm okay with the boo and the criticism because – it helps me learn more. Man, if you don't like that, I mean, I know some guys are talkers, but if that's really real, and obviously these kids are that good that we believe they're going to play well regardless, but if that's really true and he really believes that, let me tell you how much success this man's going to have. He's going to have a ton, if that's really true.
Yep.
Okay? The sky's the limit for guys that are open. Now, you got to go with what got you to the point and what you believe in, but you're allowed, like we talked about, you can use analytics. But you got to still have the eyes around because you can't go all full in. And I see that he's starting to do the both. Yeah. And guess what? We all knew analytics is part of the game. I hate the goddamn shift. Sometimes I think it bites you. It's proven that it bites you a lot of times. But it is what it is. But I'm talking about pitching moves. When a guy's done, they're putting guys in the lineup, when to give guys off days. Smart things like that I'm seeing better and better and better.
Absolutely.
Besides Nick Williams. Better and better and better. Right? Can we all agree there?
Honestly, right now, I think – after that first weekend in Atlanta, the one real bone that I still have to pick with him, actually two. I don't like the way he's using a couple of the guys out of his bullpen, but to your point earlier, and I think both of you guys said it, once the arms start to come back, guys will settle into their roles, and that's fine.
100%, Mike.
Other thing is the situation with Nick Williams. You're letting every single other guy on this team hit their way out of whatever funk they're in. But because Williams had a little bit of an attitude early on, he's now in the doghouse.
He's getting punished. And I don't like punishment for being real. Because you said to people you're open for criticism. So fans can boo you, but one of your players can't say, oh, guess your computer didn't have me in today. Like he can't say that? That's not fair. Yep. Now, should he did it better? But he's also a puppy. He's a kid.
23 years old.
Yeah, and the kid is
just wants to play.
And all he's done is hit everywhere. Everywhere. And now I'm not saying Aaron Altair doesn't deserve at bats or some time. We all agreed on that. Okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not Altair either.
Absolutely.
But like, does he need to play 2 or 3 times a week?
No.
Find places for him to play 2 or 3 times a week. We're good there. Okay? But if you had Herrera play 6, if you had Hoskins play 6 in the outfield, right? There's room to get these guys some at bats. Now, I'm not – in no means do I think a Dubel should ever sit down or Hoskins, because Hoskins just go to first for a game. Mm-hmm. But if you want to give these guys rest and give Nick at bats, you need to. You don't just bat 285 in this level by accident. In an 80 game, in a half a game season, it's not accidental. Not at this freaking level,
Someone
babe.
tried to tell me he got lucky guessing. I'm like,
Get lucky.
give me a month and you get lucky guessing.
Yeah, you don't give me 83 games luck. I'll show you luck.
Half
show you
the
luck.
year, it's a lot more than guessing.
Yeah, 288.
Oh, I think I said before, Nick Williams is not Don Brown. He's not catching lightning in a bottle. He's done it at every level.
And Mike, he did it consistently when he came up, and there was hot stretches. Don't get me wrong, but he did. Most guys do.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys a question because we got 4 minutes, and I want to read off a couple comments. But best hitter on this team, is it a Double? Just hitter. Just hitter.
Best pure hitter?
Just pure hitter. Just hitter.
Cesar Hernandez.
Hernandez?
Yeah.
I know we both love Hernandez too, Greg. I'm curious where you're going.
Yeah,
I'm a big Hernandez guy. But
I'm leaning there. If I don't go Hernandez, I'm probably going Hoskins.
Yeah, I'm going to Double.
I mean, I don't think there's a wrong answer.
No. Caesar's a great freaking
You know what
answer.
I mean? I think
love Caesar.
If you flip a 3-sided coin, you're never wrong.
I don't know if Caesar.
I love that, by the way.
I know that I've said in the past when he first came up that I thought Adubel could win a batting title just because I thought he looked like that much of a pure hitter.
Sure.
Now, I'm not saying he can, but I don't know if Hernandez.
You just said 10 minutes ago he's going to win a batting title.
No, he will. No, but I'm just saying, nobody knows for sure.
Right.
I'm not, contradicting what I'm saying. I'm saying nobody knows for sure, but do I believe he can? Absolutely. But more so than I think Caesar could. Caesar to me is a 300 guy. If he has a really good year, he's 310.
Right.
I think there's a max on what he can.
And I think a lot of
you know what I mean?
No, but he's going to be more consistent over the course of the rest of his career.
So, but I think this guy.
A lot of that comes down to the power numbers too.
Right.
I think if Caesar drove a few more balls out of the ballpark, his average would rise a little bit. But because he's gap to gap, you know what I mean, and he is just a pure 300 hitter. Also, the look too of the aesthetic look of who's the better hitter. A guy hitting 20 homers and still batting 320, or a guy hitting 10 homers, 8 homers, and batting 320.
And when I say batting title, it's like a year where he can bat 330.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm
not talking about a year where a guy needs to bat something even 320.
You're not talking about a 375 batting title.
No, it's almost like
no Miggy talk here.
Yeah, it's almost like you walk into it because everybody else doesn't have a
bad year.
Everybody else. So you bet 325 and you win it. That's where I think he can win one because I think he can be up there. But to Mike's point, he can do it consistently. I'm seeing a consistent now out of him, which is when you get on 25 straight games.
Yeah. If Hoskins has
ridiculous.
a 300 average season and with 35 home runs, then I would go him.
No, because the power comes
I think
in.
he can eventually do that, bat 300 for a whole season.
I think he could too. Hoskins was basically 285 to 300 through the minors until last year. His power numbers picked up last year. His average dropped a little bit because I think
he got tired.
In the minors, I think what you saw was, one, playing in Lehigh Valley, it's not a hitter's ballpark at all. Number two, spent a lot more time trying to drive the ball instead of just making contact. And I think what we're seeing this year is he's getting back to what he was coming up through the lower minors. And to your point, I do think he got a little bit tired towards the end of the year last year. Yeah, exactly.
So listen, we're a minute, and then we're going to be jumping over to YouTube, over to the site. You can come join us over there. If you're on Facebook and Twitter, jump over there when we hop off of here. Keep the conversation going. We're going to talk, obviously, Eagles draft. Where are they going? It's tomorrow. We got to announce it that come in now. We have our group over on Facebook, HUD Radio Real Talk. Come on to our group, join our conversation, and all our live Eagles or draft period reactions are all going to be live over in that group because we have the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2D tomorrow night. So we're going to be doing everything draft-wise in our group. Come join it. We'll accept you. All right, family, come be part of the family. You can talk to all the jabrones.
Floodgates are open.
And I can't look at the phone because the family already knows who won and lost this one. So the phone's staying down, Danny. Danny!
I didn't get an
you
alert.
doing?
I didn't get an
Danny!
alert
What
yet,
you're
dude.
doing?
Turn it the other way. We don't want you to get the alert.
I didn't
Unbelievable.
get it yet. Relax. The Vila's going to go yard.
Just would you stop it?
Ah!
Oh, late.
Damn
It's late.
That was late.
I don't trust the thin umpire behind the dish. I always want a guy with a little stock to him behind
beef.
the dish. Yeah, I don't trust this. Last night's guy was so thin. It looked like the rain was going to knock him over. and his zone was horrific. Horrific. He didn't know.
He was horrible last night from pitch one.
Yeah, it's so bad. I'm like, we're just watching this game. I'm like, this guy doesn't even have his zone.
No.
All right, well, we can't wait for you. Come over to YouTube. Like we said, everything. A2D Radio Real Sports Talk Group. Coming over, searching on Facebook. You'll find us. Join. Danny's on, and we got to give him a goddamn cookie. We got to put the baby to bed.
Give him some Sour Patch Kids. Get that sugar level up.
But we're not out of here. Jumping over to YouTube, over to the site. Come join us. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PA.
A2D Radio. I'd like to thank Gibson Mayer LLC. You know, they sponsor the whole goddamn show, but they sponsor segments too, babe. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's a segment they sponsored right here. Make them yours.
Our certified public accountant.
Yeah.
Make them yours.
Make them yours. And you know where to find them, GibsonMayer.com. All right? We have no bad, which just fucks up my whole head. I mean, God forbid Danny up goes and takes a little initiative. The kids of today, the youth of today, what can you do?
Learn
All
something
right?
one time.
One time. Once. All right, we'll be right back.
Go play some
Danny,
music.
hit the mute buttons on it. Do you know what the mutes are? Forget about it.
The gray buttons. Right above the sliders. There you go. Yep. The other way. Come close.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike. AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Welcome back, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio, live from the BMW Atlantic City studios. BMW Atlantic City, 17 of the Parkway.
I feel like we should be driving a convertible right now.
Yeah. Yeah, roof down.
Maybe a little hydraulic action.
Maybe a little hydraulic. Cali, where Greg's going. Sums it about up, right? Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Gibson Mayer LLC. Find them on the web. GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnaud, Michael Mataraki, Greg Milakovic, Dan McGuckin.
Greg Milakovic on the ones and twos.
On the ones and twos.
Doing a hell of a job back there, too.
Great job. If you're just joining us, which you probably fucking aren't, but if you are.
Better not be.
All right, we talk Sixers. Who do you want to see? Celtics, Bucks. You can still let us know about that. Are the Sixers a team to beat in the East Conference playoffs? You can still let us know about that one. Yes or no? We did talk a lot of Phils. Big win tonight. So what are we?
15
and 8, baby. 15 and 8, and a good win after a loss. And that's what you look for, and that's why you spend money on a Jake Arrieta, is to end or not create a losing streak.
And everybody said he's washed up. He's 3-0 with a 1.82.
Let me tell you something. Can I be honest with you? I said last year there would be concern in terms of me drafting him fantasy wise because of the innings. Now that's fantasy related. In terms of him being my guy or spending money on him, absolutely. And listen, it's paying off, and he's a leader, and he's obviously already helped this rotation dramatically.
Oh my God.
And especially without Jared Eichhoff. What do you got?
Nah, the Jazz are up 15 in OKC.
OKC stinks.
Yeah,
It's
over,
over,
I
baby.
just thought OKC would come in with a win. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's what happened.
Fucking
I
Westbrook blows. Dude.
I remember I did a video earlier on, and it was like, feel the thunder. Feel the thunder. And I was like, who's going to the NBA Finals? Like, feel the thunder.
What about Portland though? Not even putting up a fight.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
With sharpshooters like that. And
Freaking Mirotic was on crack. That dude was going nuts.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis had a hell of a season.
Oh, he's
Oh yeah. So I mean, it was just nuts.
Absolutely.
Like, but Mirotic would not miss every fucking game. Everything. Oh my God, he was nuts.
And you know, Damian Lillard didn't have the series
Yep.
you would expect, and either did McCollum, and boom, exit,
Yep.
golf course,
So
and you're getting the same thing there now too in OKC, which is unbelievable.
Well,
but when you
yeah,
get
that's what
rid of,
happened.
when you have to clear your bench out, you see what happens, guys. You see what happens when you have to spend money on, or to make deals, and you shorten your bench, and your money's spent more on 3 players than it is
Well,
a roster and a full roster.
It's what
Right,
happens
it's
when
one-
you,
you
when
know,
you
you have
pick
3
the wrong
great players.
superstar.
In terms of which one?
Durant over Westbrook. You picked the wrong one.
Right. Well, I don't think they.
They probably didn't have a choice, but
Yeah.
still.
Well, guess
They
what?
had a choice because
Oh,
he was
you know
there.
what? Girl, I'm not
They
gonna
should have
say-
traded
I'm
back
not
then.
saying
Back
you
then, I
grow
remember
up
when there was
Peter
trade
Pan,
rumors.
But
Who would they?
go ahead.
Who would they trade, Westbrook or Harden? They should have traded. I mean, obviously, it's easier to say that now, but
No, but
they should
listen,
have traded Westbrook.
everybody should grow up Peter Pans. You know what I mean? Because, and I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about, like, you could just kept them.
Yeah.
Like, you went the direction now where you have Paul George and Carmelo fucking Anthony. Now you're going to spend the goddamn fucking money. Somebody wake somebody up over there because you could have just forget Harden. Just take Harden out of it and just say he was gone. Okay? Forget Harden. Durant and Westbrook should have just stayed together forever. Then you go get a Melo or a Paul George to add with them, you fucking idiots. Not Paul George, because Paul George is just a guy to me. He's just such a guy. People need to stop talking about wanting him here in Philadelphia. I'm sick and tired of fucking hearing about it. He's just a fucking guy, okay? He's not as special as people think he is. Because if he was, we wouldn't be talking exit time in the first round, okay? Carmelo Anthony, we know he's long in the tooth. My issue isn't with Melo, because we know who Melo is. My issue would be with them two. Because Paul George is one of the most overrated basketball players in the NBA. In the NBA because of one little run. Because of one little run. That's it. It was one little run, babe. I'm not saying he's not talented, but it was one run.
He's a great story. He came back from a devastating injury.
Yeah.
He's productive again.
His athleticism has never been the same.
No, and you expect that, but the one run I was talking about, was it a great run? Absolutely. And it was right before the injury. Yeah. And the injury obviously set him back, and Mike's 100% right. It's a feel-good story. But for Sixers fans that want to spend money on him, that's crazy talk to me. Listen to JoJo for a minute. And not about LeBron, because if LeBron wants to come here, we're here. Okay, we're here, babe. But
the door's open.
Yeah, the door. That's the one guy we open doors for, or Durant. Like, we open doors for a couple guys. Kawhi, we don't open doors for.
Not anymore.
Okay. But what guy was I just talking about before?
Paul George.
Paul, sorry. So these guys want to, Paul George you want to bring in. Like, listen to Joe when he says, hey, we're good. Like, keep this young core together. Like, I don't want to bring Paul George in to lose fucking Dario, right? Because I can't spend money on him. I don't want to bring some other jabron in who these guys all
That's
want.
another thing.
Okay, over losing, like, not Ben or Joe, but then losing somebody else. Like, not being able to then spend money on Markelle when that time comes. Like, got to think about that kind of shit. That's the core. That's what you lost for. Now, if LeBron wants to come in for a 2-year deal, you open your
I want
your
LeBron,
arms
but
for
I
that.
don't want him longer than that because I want to bring Sarge back. Like I'm not losing them guys.
Yeah,
I'm not losing them guys.
absolutely.
You can't have a starting 5 that puts you right there against the cap and then have nothing on the bench, because we see this year
how important it is.
What happens and how important it is when you have a productive bench.
Because you know how much money that you're going to spend on Joe and Ben. Yeah. Okay? Done. That's your core. So now, and Markelle and Dario, that's your core. That's what you're going to build this around now, which is delicious. Okay? It's absolutely delicious. And then you got to worry about your side dishes. And, obviously, as time goes on, when their deals are expired, the Erstons and the Bellinellis aren't going to be your side dishes because their time would be over.
Some mac and cheese.
Okay? But yes, now you got to
mashed potatoes.
It's how you add around them. It's exactly how. Did I lose that bad boy?
You may have.
No way.
He's dropping his bowls.
Gets better than that.
I'll tell you this right now, though, when we're talking about that situation with the Sixers and the salary and everything like that, I would be willing to bet that if Markelle Fultz is healthy through the entire, training camp, first month of the season, whatever it was, Rocco doesn't get that extension. And if he does, it's not for nearly as much as he got.
No, and that's the league. All these
Well,
guys
it was a
get
front deal
overpaid.
anyway. He doesn't make as much. Like he made $15 million this year. I don't think he doesn't. What does he make next year? Like eight
But
or
it doesn't
9?
even matter. I think for them, if Markelle shows enough early on that they have to start thinking down the road about paying him, they're not giving that much money to Covington, even with it being a front-loaded deal, like you said. I just don't see them making the commitment to him if they think that they really have something special in Markelle. And maybe they still do. There's no reason not to. I just think that the Markelle injury...
I don't think that totally plays into it. I just think they value... I don't know. I know Brett's in love with Covington. Like he thinks he's the greatest.
Yeah, because it's fucking analytics there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Covington, but I think Brett is like obsessed with him.
Yeah, listen, I don't. Okay, and it's not like I don't like. It's not like I hate him. He's just not. He's not a 3 and D guy. Like people, like when you're a 3 guy, you're at least consistent enough. And people want to throw percentages at me, but like he goes through droughts. Like the good ones don't. Like, you know what I mean? The good ones might have an off night, but they come back the next night and they're hitting. Like, JJ might have an off night, but he's come back the next night and he's stroking. Bellinelli might have an off night, but the next night you ain't getting that. Ursa might have an off night, the next night you ain't getting that. Shooters shoot, okay? And they get out of it. The real good ones. Guys who run in the funks for 10-game stretches, who can't make threes, bro, you ain't a 3 and D guy. Not in this league. Maybe 20 years ago, when the 3 wasn't that important, you're a 3 and D guy because you shot so many. You know what I mean? But like that's I think what gets me and gets a lot of people. That's all.
Phillies Twitter for the win again. Jake beat snakes. I like it. I like it.
So we did talk Phils.
Yeah, we did. You gotta get in a little birds talk.
Yeah, a little draft. Can I address? No idea. I want to dress. I agree.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah, no, please.
Go ahead.
I was just say like I can't believe the draft tomorrow. I was watching what the hell was I watching earlier? Oh, The Herd, Colin Coward.
Right.
And he just told me, the draft tomorrow. I was like, oh fuck, it's tomorrow. Like I'm still in a Super Bowl high. Like I don't even. It's crazy.
Dude, you're not the only one, brother.
Like it went like that.
It did.
It went quick.
Before we switch fully over, can I read this tweet from Ruben Frank real fast about Brett and the Sixers? So Ruben Frank tweeted out earlier this morning or late last night. So happy for Brett. 75 and 253 his first 4 years. Worst record of any coach in NBA history. And he was positive, upbeat, supportive, encouraging every minute of it. Special guy.
He has 56 wins this year. That's crazy.
You know what it tells me?
You know what's sad,
tells me, though?
Real fast? He could have these 56-win years and still never get back to a 500 record. He was so bad.
Nah, he will eventually. But
Thanks.
All right.
Well, you know what?
Just saying.
You know what you take out all of that? The mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's something that winners have. You know?
And
you know what I mean, boys?
There was never no throw my hands up. I don't know what to do anymore.
No.
Like there was never that.
You know what?
Brett.
And he knew the plan. He knew the plan. He knew the big picture. He knew he was being taken care of. He wasn't going to get ran out. Something I want to address Eagles draft wise.
Yeah, let's
real
go.
quick, okay? And then we can get deeper into it. But like, I love how 32 isn't a good pick because we want more picks. Can I just address something about this? Like
you can, but you'll be wrong.
No, absolutely not.
Well, go ahead.
Because you're the Super Bowl champs, which means you're deep in a lot of spots. You're good in a lot of spots. Okay? You have we have 6 picks, I believe.
Yeah.
6 out of 7, essentially. 7 total is what you usually have, right? And we have 6. Now, granted, deeper. I get that. But we have 6 picks still out of 7. There's 7 rounds. We have 6, right? We act like 32 as a fan base from what I read in groups. We act like 32 isn't valuable anymore. It's only valuable in terms of a deal to move out. We're Super Bowl champs. Like, to me, if one of your guys that you target's there, right, and he's one of the best players on your board, done. Whoever it is, I don't care. Anything besides a quarterback, you hand it a slip and you call it a fucking day, right? I don't understand where we have to make something. And I'm not talking about is it smarter not to move out. That's not the conversation. What the conversation is it's like a foregone conclusion that we're moving out because Howie loves fucking picks. If he's that much of a fucking junkie, calm the hell down. If one of your guys is there. You don't move out just to move out because you get extra picks. That's great. I understand you can hit picks later on, but higher percentages are you're going to hit pick earlier on. That's just percentages. You got a better shot to hit an earlier on pick if you did your homework like we expect this whole staff to do, right? Now, if one of your guys isn't there, you absolutely trade out and get value back for the pick. I completely agree there. My point is it's not a necessity, because we're junkies and we have to watch day 2. You know what I mean? It's not the point of like, is it smart to stay or go? It's the point that it's really simple. If one of your guys is there, you take them and you don't look back because you are that good of a football team.
Right, but here's the reason that I said you could say it, but you'd be wrong, and you're not wrong. But here's the thing: the difference between 32 and 33, which is 1 pick difference. But one is in the first round and one is in the second round. That player that you take at 32 gets first-round salary slotting. They get the 5th-year option on the contract. And that pick at 32, the last pick of the first round could get you 2 seconds and a third. The last pick of the second round can't get you 2/3 and a fourth.
No, I understand the money side of it,
right, but what it is it's the value that you can get moving into the second round is way higher than if you're trading a single pick later in the draft. And what happens is like, say you're sitting at 32 and somebody's real hot for a quarterback, but they know they're not going to be able to play him this year. But they have that 5th-year option on the first-round pick. They may trade up with you to get your pick, draft the quarterback, knowing that he's going to sit a year. But they still have 4 years with him because they can exercise that 5th-year option.
And that's where the kid's not wrong. That's where the kid's not wrong. Because I said if somebody knocks on your door and they're giving you a good deal and you don't believe that if the guy that's there is good enough and you like him that much, him being first-round money doesn't matter, right? First-round money matters if you're just reaching or you're like, you get where I'm going with it?
Agree.
Or you don't like somebody that much.
Agree with that, but if you have an opportunity to go from 32 to 36 and you can see based on the board that your guy is still going to be there at 36,
then you do it.
Then you got to make the move.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm not like –
you're not way off base.
I'm not saying you don't do it. I'm saying all I'm saying is that, if I'm sitting there and I have my board and some of my top guys are still on the board, then I absolutely just stay and take them, and I don't worry about the rest. Now, if I can, if I don't love the guys that are left and my board shrinks big time and I get calls, then absolutely. Should I be on the phone? Absolutely. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not, like, to the fan base, it's not a have to. That's all my point was because I read too much feeling like you had to because you needed more picks. Well, you don't need more picks if you land some, baby. If you land the ones you got, you don't need more.
No, it's not a have to, but I will say this.
Because if you land 32, nothing else matters, right? If that's a pick and that's a starter and that guy makes Pro Bowls, nothing else matters. The rest of the picks in that draft don't matter. If you land every year, you're landing a Pro Bowl caliber player, none of the rest matters. Now, if you don't land Pro Bowl caliber players, you want to land 3 good ones then. You see where I'm going?
Right, but the thing with the Birds is when you look at their cap right now and how he has to be a magician every single offseason to negotiate the cap, if you wind up top-heavy on first-rounders, then you're in cap trouble every year.
And that totally makes sense.
It's an entirely now you're going 3 layers deep.
And that's fine, and they have to. Yeah. And that's where you trust Howie. That's where you trust Howie, like when he's foreshadowing, like, okay,
but
you know what? Even though I love these guys that are on the board right now, dollars and cents wise, it's going to tie me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Fuck it. Let's just move back a little bit.
We'll
worry about it another day.
I'll say this, though.
But if it's a guy you're like,
baby, I love him. If you're in love with him,
it just depends.
If a guy like Juice is there and you absolutely want him, you got to go get him.
You go get him.
I mean,
Juice is loose.
Yeah, but the one thing, listening to the fix earlier, the one thing that Ralphie said that, like, to me was like, the freaking sun just shined right down on top of his balding head, balding bearded head.
Jedediah.
For like 5 minutes. He made a great point. He said if you look at the history with the Patriots, every time they win a Super Bowl, and they're in the same position that the Birds are with the cap and stuff like that, but for whatever it is, but they trade out, but they trade out smartly. Because they don't trade so far down into the second and third rounds that they don't get talent or value.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what Ralph was saying is that if you go back and look at the history of the Patriots picks, when they've traded out of the first round, every guy that they get in the second and third round winds up becoming a Pro Bowl caliber player.
And that's where Joe Douglas and where you really
the
scouting department
staff,
is where I buy into them guys a lot. I believe in them guys. So that's all it comes down to. So I wasn't like against to clarify trading out. I'm just saying, like, if you got a guy like that's a can't-miss guy that you believe in front of you, don't be stupid and just take him. Now, if you have a bunch of guys that are all like, if I can get the same kind of guy, 10 picks later, then you take it, you go with it, and you run with it. But I feel like we're such junkies, like in groups, and we all know because we're in enough.
We're all, yeah.
You know what I mean? That
we all know what's
that
going
all
on.
you read is like, well, okay, we're going to trade this, and we're going to get 2 seconds, and we're good there. Now we got 7 picks back, and now we got as many picks as we're supposed to have. And it's like, well, what is that? I mean, I can't get it done with 6. Like I was even saying, you can trade your later round picks and get up into the 3rd round. You can trade a player and get up into the 3rd round and picks. You know what I mean?
Well,
so you can make other moves and stay at 32. There's not just stay at 32 or deal out.
Right, but it's interesting that you say that, though, because I personally think that they're going to keep that first-round pick, but I think that they're going to be in the 2nd and 3rd rounds because
Michael Kendricks.
What faster way do you?
You don't think you're going to trade him?
Right, but and I'm not even going to put a name on it right now. But what faster way do you solve a cap problem? By removing salary.
Yep.
And the way you remove salary is you trade existing on-roster players for draft picks. There's not a general manager or team president in the NFL over the last 5 years who has traded more players than Howie.
Yep.
And if we don't think he's going to do that again, probably starting tomorrow night, we're a little crazy.
Not. That's what I'm saying. Like, so there's more options.
Yeah.
There's not just 32. Like, what could easily happen is, okay, they stay at 32 because the player they want's there. And then they say, okay, now how do we get up into the 2nd? How can we relieve some cap and get up into the 2nd?
I know you're going to hate it, and I don't necessarily like it.
Who?
It's going to be Darby for a 2nd and 3rd.
I don't.
A 2nd and a 3rd for Darby?
I think it's going to be
no,
Darby.
You're not going to 2nd and 3rd for Darby.
Don't be surprised.
I think you got to give.
Nobody.
No, you got to give up Darby and one of your 4ths.
Okay,
now we'll get you.
Okay.
All right.
That
makes more
Actually,
sense.
I think it would be Darby and a pick. I don't know whether it would be a 4th.
Because you have 2. That's the only reason.
But here's the problem. Nobody in this league can cover anymore. So if you have a guy who's an established cover corner, he can easily get him and a pick can easily get you a 2 and a 3. He's not going to get you all the way up into the 1st round.
Then Douglas has to be
turned
into a slot guy. But if you got a lot of question marks there.
If they're convinced that Sidney Jones is ready to go,
I think he is.
With what they did to get him last year, if Sidney Jones is ready to go, Darby's the one on the hot
side. And guys, let's remember something. That's a pick.
Yeah.
That's like this year's pick. So there's your 7th for the Junks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of the fam chiming in over on the tube. Pootie Tang says tight end, offensive tackle, linebacker, or trade down.
Why are people obsessed with offensive tackle?
Well, because you
need it.
You need it.
Yeah,
it's what wins in this league.
In the 1st round?
Oh, they don't grow on trees.
They don't grow on trees.
If a park,
but you have Vitae, though.
We had Mark Eckel on back in the day, right, Danny? We had Mark Eckel on back in the day, and he said one thing, and I always grew up liking Mark, but he said one thing that stuck, and it's something we already knew, but it just stuck. And he said, left tackles don't grow on trees, or even rights. They don't. And especially when you're in training camp.
But I feel like I wanted. If you already have, I feel like wasting the 1st round pick.
What did we learn this year, Danny boy? What did we learn this year? What did we learn this year more than any other year in the history of sports? What did we learn about being deep and having another guy to step in? So I'm not saying that's the direction I'm going. I'm just saying if that's the best guy on the board, tackle, and you go. Good ones don't reach. So whatever pick it is, somebody could have told me anything outside of quarterback, and I'm in. For whatever, any position.
I'll just straight up answer the question for you. The reason that you strongly consider offensive tackle is that Jason Peters is 36 years old, coming off a torn ACL, and Lane Johnson is one bad supplement away from 2-year suspension.
Mm-hmm. Yup. TTP saying, "What's up? What up, TTP?" Pootie said he thought Darby would be traded till they cut Worley, and I completely agree there. That's where I'm not sure about that move now, but I could see it because it also released some cap, Mike. So I could say it, but that's up to them. They know where Rasul's at more than we do. So if Rasul, you think, can step in and play nickel in this league right now, then so fucking be it. Because then you have Sidney, Jalen, and Rasul. Fine, you drafted a ton of them. And then you draft another one if you really think you need to address that position.
Let me ask you guys.
It's one of those. It's one of those positions. They're drafted every draft anyway.
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question though. based on what we heard about Ronald Darby when we made that trade with the Bills, do you think we got the Ronald Darby that was advertised?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, we got a Super Bowl, so I don't care what Ronald Darby we
No,
got.
but I'm just saying, take
Yes.
that out of the equation. You look at just the player. Was he that shutdown corner that everyone thought that we
he's
were
not a
getting?
shutdown corner.
He's a real good one.
He was very good.
Real good one.
He was very good.
Shut down, no.
I
Real
don't-
good
yeah.
one, yes.
Yeah, I'm not.
Is he a star in this league? Absolutely not. Is he a real good corner in this league? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Fair.
I'll agree.
So he's not a star in this league. That's
They're
what
hard
makes
to
him.
come- they're hard
That's
to
what
come
makes
by.
him tradable. Then.
Yeah, and Sidney Jones could be.
Oh, I think.
You know,
I think if
say-
he's healthy, that's a foregone conclusion.
No, I agree with you. I just say could be just because it's a could.
Yeah.
I think
Dak
I think
didn't want
he
to throw it
is.
his way when he was in.
Listen,
The
I
Week 17 game, Dak wasn't going anywhere near him. But it's also because he was covering Dez. Dez doesn't get the ball anyway.
no, and I think he is going to be a star. So
Put the locks on Dez.
And for the Eagles fans that are saying go get Des Bryant, put your
No,
crack
shut
pipes
the
down.
hell up.
so
Put the crack pipes down.
do you see where I was going with that?
I do.
That like you could stay at 32, still trade a player and one of your fourths and get up into the second and third that way, and then everything's good. That's if somebody doesn't come knocking on your door for 32. That's enough to get back to be like, okay. And it's at the point of the draft where like, okay, I'm losing some guys. I
Yeah,
thought were going to be here. Fine, I'm out.
And I
you
think the problem is when you're talking about the groups and everything like that, everybody in these groups, wants to be the armchair GM, and they're
yeah.
and to their credit, there's a lot of people that really are educated in salary and slotting and stuff like that. But what happens is all these people get so stuck on, I don't want to pay a first-round salary and I don't want to be on the hook for a fifth-year option when I can move back one pick and lose that responsibility, that they lose sight of the fact that if there's somebody there at 32 that you've coveted for the entire offseason, it depends on how far back into the second round you're going to go.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to think, too, especially if you go one pick, that's Cleveland. Does Cleveland need 3 first-rounders on their books, too? The same way the Eagles are thinking that way. You know what I mean? Not Cleveland's going to have 3 or 4 guys up at the same time that are,
Listen, this is what you do. It's real simple. You trade one of your fours, you know what I mean? Because you have deeper picks later on in the draft. You trade some of them if you want to stay at 32. You move up that way. If it's a player that's in that deal, if it is a Darby and a fourth and that gets you a second and third, then go ahead. But if none of that comes to fruition and you stay with what you have because that's just the way it works out, then you know it. Draft pass player available. I know.
So let's do some predictions real quick. Danny, what do they do?
I think you're. See, I keep going back. I don't really know. But the one mock I had that I really liked, they had them drafting Sony Michel from Georgia. Yeah.
Okay. Greg?
I wouldn't hate it. I think there's 2 scenarios at play.
Okay.
I think there's a team in the early double digits to early teens, Buffalo, Arizona, who potentially might lose out on a quarterback, come calling, right? For Nick, and then you can maybe.
So what you're saying is this team is actually going to make a pick.
No.
Okay.
They might lose out on a quarterback. So Buffalo's sitting there at 12,
Right.
sitting there. We lost out on all our quarterbacks.
Okay.
What, 32 and folds for 12? Oh,
Okay.
give me
For
that.
12 and
give me
whatever.
that.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Okay.
I know, I'm just
but
saying,
that's
like,
a
give me that.
scenario I can potentially see.
Okay.
Same thing with Arizona at 15.
Okay.
They lose out on who they want. Come calling.
Would you take Nate Sudfeld? What's the other
Or
scenario?
they sit there at 32, take best available, and call it a day.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's 2 too. Mine's trade up, stay at 32, and you trade up back in to the second and third with either your later round picks next in the following years, or players, whoever it is, just to cut some cap. If it's a Darby or whatever, or they just stay at 32. I don't think there's a. I'm not saying they won't trade 32 out. I just don't. Unless the right deal comes along. Like, I don't think they're going to be rushing to trade out because I think,
agreed.
all I'm saying is we've never been in this spot before. And
We don't know how to react.
No,
We've literally never been in
been
this
here.
spot.
What do we do
before.
with our hands?
Yeah, so it's like, you're so used to having so many needs because you lost, right? And when you lose, you're like, well, this is a need, that's a need. You stink. So So when you win, it's like, well, we love you, we love you, we love you. So you're in the Patriots mindset where, okay, you could trade out like they always do, or you could just say, you know what, we're just gonna stay here and get better. We're just gonna get better.
Flashback to last week. It's not a buffet. Everything's filet.
Everything's filet.
Everything's filet.
Everything's filet. Now, absolutely, if your guys are gone, you get the hell out of there, and they'll do that. But I don't think there's a rush to deal it. I really don't.
I don't think there's any scenario where they trade up unless they can get all the way into the top 10.
Oh, I meant trade up into the second and third.
Okay, no, I'm just
You're
talking
about your scenario?
I'm just talking my scenario.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
First round. I don't think there's any scenario where they trade up unless they can go all the way up top 10.
Okay, so who they target top 10 in this scenario? Is there a
I got a guy.
position, a guy?
The Fitzpatrick dude.
Oh, yeah. What up, Danny?
Actually, what I was going to say is if
Baker.
Who'd you say?
Nah.
if they
Fitzpatrick dude, the safety.
Okay.
Baker.
see, I love him. I just don't know that that's their target guy. I think what they're looking at right now is this year or next, they're going to need to find a young defensive end to line up opposite Derek Barnett because Brandon Graham is going to be a cap casualty probably after this season. Chris Long, one more year. Vinny Curry already out the door.
Well,
and I think if there is that stud edge rusher who drops down maybe into that 9, 10, 11 slot where the salary –
a.k.a. Chubb.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So if
you haven't learned anything, you know Howie and Lyman.
Yeah, but it's a situation where if they see that edge rusher that they really covet start dropping down in the first round, I could see them getting aggressive and going up. It's probably going to cost them 32, at least one of the fourths, and maybe a player. It's not going to come cheap.
No.
Nor do they.
Yeah, but
what if they traded Graham?
And that could
because I know he wants a new contract.
Honestly, don't be surprised if Derek Graham is not on Brandon Graham is not on his team by the end of the weekend.
Wow.
Because a lot of people
that'd be crazy.
A lot of people were
BG.
saying Michael Kendricks. For me, especially if they draft a defensive end, it could be Brandon Graham.
You're not deep enough for Kendricks there.
Well,
That's
see,
why I dismiss it.
that's
He
where
just makes a lot though. He makes
that's
$7
where I
million.
thought you were going was linebacker.
Either
Raekwon Smith from Georgia.
Well, I thought you were going
the freak from Virginia Tech.
Who's two more guys that I love, but I think what you're going to see them do with the linebacker position, because that's like Joe Douglas's thing. I mean, even going back to his days in Baltimore.
Absolutely.
He would just
Baltimore had good linebackers?
Well, you think? He was like a coal miner for linebackers.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Coal miner.
So and I could see, 4th and 5th round picks from small schools, linebackers that he brings in here and turns into superstars.
Yeah.
Eventually, we need a safety though, because McLeod's only got 2 years left. Malcolm's not getting any younger. So.
You know what though? That's why you just keep going with the route of like, okay, who's the best player here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good. We're going to take him. Who's the best player here? Okay, good. We're going to take them. And then if you continue to just have that mindset and you have a good scouting department, you're going to be in great shape no matter where you're picking at.
I know, I'm just saying eventually we need a
No, you're right. But you just go through this draft like any other draft. And if you just go through it,
maybe we get him this draft. I don't know.
I would love to go up and get a Raekwon Smith or Chubb and say hello.
Right, but here's the thing: the flip side of my scenario, I don't think they're making the pick. I think they're. I don't think.
I know where you think.
I don't think they're trading up. I think they're going back, but I think they're going to go back.
If they do trade back, what do you think? Did they get a third for that?
He's getting into it.
I think
he's talking.
I think they go back, but they're looking for something. I think they're looking for something within the first 6 to 8 picks of the second round, along with a late third or maybe another fourth, because I think they're willing to forego a day 1 pick because of cap constraints, but I don't think they're willing to let day 2 go by without making at least 1 pick in that early second, late third area, somewhere in there. They got to have a day 2 pick just because of the way Howie's mindset is. He needs some sort of talent to keep feeding the system.
Well, why isn't 32, though? The same thing.
It's just because of the cap hit.
Yeah, but then how if they go up, you say they're going up because they're dealing.
No.
When you said they're going up, was your other scenario because you had them dealing a player
with
a lot of money,
right? If they go up, if they go up, they're dealing a player and a later pick.
Somebody with a lot of money.
Up. So to move back, though, it's just going to be swapping picks, basically.
Yeah, listen, if they go back, they go back. I mean, to me, it's a year where I'm not saying I don't care about the draft because it's a draft. I love the draft. But I'm not, like, invested in it as, like, I am every other year because there is so much need.
Because we got filet.
Yeah, because we're drafted top 15. So it lost its luster a little bit, right? Some of the pizzazz of it, a little bit gone, just because we're not up there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you want to trade out? Trade out. You want to stay? Stay. Okay, you start trading players, then we're going to be like, okay, what's going on? Then we're like, we're running back in. So it just, it depends where he goes. But listen, where we have needs at. And, we touch upon it. Definitely linebacker if you want to talk need. And you can always add offensive line help. I know Ryan was saying, with Wiz and Brooks, 29 years old, and Peters, 35, lineman would be good. And he says he thinks they stay at 32 and they take Connor Williams, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
TTP says
my two guys are Geis and Williams.
Yeah, and
Well,
right
see,
to
here's the
TTP
thing.
here. He goes.
But if Williams is there at 32, I'm calling whoever's on the board at 33, 34, and 35. And I want to gauge what their feelings are, who they're looking at taking, whatever. And I want to see if one of them want to move up into the first round.
TTP, he asked another question earlier. We'll get to it in 1 second. But he goes, okay, on the sports. I'm on Tom's mindset. Best player available is the way to go. We are solid all around the football field. Another young top talent is practically just icing on the cake. And he says, I have a weird feeling we're going to get Geiso. We seem to take a lot of interest in him. Absolutely, he's right there. Not going to lie, I'm not an expert on this draft class. TTP, let me tell you something. I'm not going to lie ever. I'm not an expert on an entire draft class ever. I consider myself expertise in the top 10, okay? And then my expertise goes out the way. I can target talent in the top 10 and tell you that guy's a stud or maybe top 15 and it's sort of good, and I think anybody who tells you otherwise, I don't know. I think they're fucking lying to you. Yeah, really. It's like, how do you know this whole draft class? Stop it. Even Kuiper and McShay, you can watch all the tape you want. It's the biggest lottery in all sports drafts.
Oh yeah,
the biggest lottery.
I mean, we got guys here that have mapped out our top 40 and top 50, and even they've admitted that once you get outside the top 10, a lot of it is just start pulling names out of hats.
Plug family, 10:30 tomorrow on our socials. You can find it. It's our little mock that we did as a family. So you can check that out tomorrow morning, 10:30. It's actually on the site right now.
Spearheaded by the man to your right, by the way.
It might have dropped 10:30 tonight.
No, it's already on the site. Okay, let me finish. Okay, let me finish what I was saying.
Yep.
Got a lot to fucking say. Let me get to it. So it's already on the site for anybody who wants to check it out. A2D, we know where to go. You're already watching us here. You can check out our draft, our mock draft, and tomorrow will be on the socials. So if you miss it, it'll be on the socials. You can click on and see it there. That's all.
Oh, my God.
Good
The
job,
Jazz are up 25.
Good job, big fella.
Cool. Fucking Westbrook.
Cool. Don't be fucking cocky.
No, cool.
Don't be cocky when the kid's
My
got a
bad.
ball in the hand.
I got AM and PM mixed up. My bad.
When did you get mixed up?
That's because we say them both at the same time all the time.
Yeah, it does. It mixes me up.
Look,
Yeah. No, but it was great.
I'll take the money for that excuse.
Well, let me tell you what happened. Can I tell you what happened? I want to tell you what happened. So
what happened.
we posted, we posted the article, and can I tell you what Jabron said to me? He's like, well, that was the first one. We were going to do like 4 of them. I said, are you fucking kidding me? Nobody's traded nobody. Hold on, nobody's traded nobody. All right, like it's the biggest guessing game in all of fucking sports. We got to do 4 of them. We can do 129 of them. It ain't gonna change the facts. You're probably not nailing them. You know what I mean? As long as nobody's been traded, whatever one you do is fine.
I was just trying to drive people to the site.
I know. I love it. We are. That's what we're doing right fucking now.
I'm nailing my 4.
Where are you
I'm
at?
telling you.
I got Geis. It's at 32.
Is that what picks you had?
Yes, I did.
Nice.
I had the
See,
last 3
What,
picks.
what picks did I have again?
I prefer to call him
You
Dukes.
were
I feel like I had like the Raiders.
You were in the middle. Yeah, you were like 10, 11, 12.
I think I had the Raiders taking Raekwon
You
Smith.
did. You had the Raiders taking Smith.
Oh, that's it. Shh. Go see. Go see what we have. Go, you guys go. No, stay here, but go. You know what I mean? Go check it out. Give it a read. Tell us what you think.
A couple minutes left. We want to do some Coots talk.
Real quick, you got TTP other question?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So it's a non-sports related.
It's a solid question.
Which is phenomenal. Yeah, I told him that. Where are you at, babe? He's like, what are you all looking forward to the most? Infinity War, Venom, or Deadpool? Deadpool is fucking phenomenal. Infinity War is going to be great. It's so tough. I don't know. Can I say all 3? Well, can I say 2 or 3? Venom to me. I don't know Venom.
Deadpool.
I'm not hype on Venom, but I'm going to see Infinity War on Sunday morning.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm an Avengers junkie.
Infinity War followed by Deadpool.
What is the question?
What are you looking forward to more, Infinity War?
Infinity War. I'll tell you
Venom?
what I'm looking forward to. Jurassic World, man.
Oh yeah, Len loves Jurassic.
I'm a big. That's my favorite
Yep.
movie franchise. I'm a big dinosaur
You gotta
guy.
tell Len that she's a Jurassic junk.
June 22nd, man. I'm going right when it first time.
You know what? Can I tell you guys something? I don't go when the ball drops. If you know what I mean. The
I
movies.
only
Let
do
me
now.
tell you.
No, I have to.
Let
no,
me tell you, though.
A
Let me
movie
tell-
like that, I have
Trying
to,
to
though.
protect you.
I'm sorry.
Trying
I'm
to
just saying, a
protect
movie like that, I
I'm
have
here
to.
I'm here to protect the family. Okay, and I'll tell you why I don't go to fucking drops, because people out there are fucking problems. Like, there's mentally fucking insane people out there that just want to go in places and have a good time, and they think having a good time is we're just gonna let a semi-automatic fucking go off. So I don't go to like the first showings. Like, I'll let it sit for a minute. I'll get to you. I'll get over to you, and I might even wait for you to get on demand, so I don't have to deal with it.
It's the same
I
thing
get
in
my own
2015. Same thing in 2015 when the first one came out.
I don't do it. I don't do premieres. I think there's, I don't trust fucking people. I don't trust people. No security in movie theaters at all. I don't fucking trust them one bit. Scared to death. It comes on demand. It's fucking $20. Oh well, it's gonna cost me fucking $70 by the time I get out of the goddamn movie theater. You know what I mean? I love popcorn. I love delicious snacks. So I'm nothing but an issue. And you're paying for 2 tickets. The tickets are cheap, but it's everything else they fucking get you.
Yeah.
They hit you over the fucking head.
The pretzel nuggets.
And then I got to look over my shoulder the whole fucking show. You know what I mean? The whole movie, I'm looking over my fucking shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, who's that guy? You know what I mean? I feel like I'm on a fucking airplane eyeing everybody the fuck up.
That's
You know
why
what I
you
mean?
pay attention to the screen.
You know, it's
I
crazy.
try, Greg, but I know people are fucking at people out there. Our family would agree
My-
with me to a point.
My senior year of high school, I worked in a movie theater. Adult admission was $5. You can't
Used to be a
even
nickel.
You can't even get a matinee for senior citizens these days for $5.
Well,
Actually,
no,
actually,
Tuesdays.
you can.
Tuesdays are $5.
What, at the dollar theater?
In Voorhees, the AMC, the old Ritz, Tuesdays is $5 movie day.
Okay.
So, Mike
You
Parker
spend
says,
$35 in
Give me the
popcorn,
pearl.
though.
I think Mike Parker's saying his boys like dinosaurs.
Dude, I'm a dinosaur junkie. It's one
Yeah.
part of my childhood I never grew out of.
Boy likes
Michael!
his dinosaurs, but his boy's a month old.
Oh my God! So Mike Parker said, "I don't do form of theaters." He agrees. I want to hear the movie, and I get ADD. I can hear everyone. What do you say?
But with the movie theaters now, though, you get to pick your seat, so it's
No,
a
you
little bit
do.
more
You
spread.
do.
So
It's like
I'm
a
a little bit
fucking-
because I hate people too. So
I
like,
love the recliner.
I hate walking in and being like,
I like the
oh,
end
I want to
seat.
sit there. I want to sit there.
End seat
No,
recliner.
I'm just
End
absolutely.
seat recliner.
I hate walking
I
up
just
to the
now
top
get-
because I feel like everyone's looking at me.
Yeah,
I
I
get
get my
weird.
own
Anxi-
seat. I
I
know
get
where
weird
I'm
anxiety
sitting.
when I have to walk through
That's why we're
crowds.
family, Danny. That's why we're tactically blonde. Me too. I can't do it.
Anywhere I walk, if there's a crowd of people, I get nervous. People are
Me
looking
too.
at me.
I put my head down. I'm like, everybody's looking at me.
All right,
Everybody's
so
looking at me. Oh my God. 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 I swear to God, I'm the same way. Hold on. TTP. I don't. Tom. I don't do movie premieres because I don't want to get shot.
True story.
And Mike says that was for Dan. Boy likes
Movie
his
talk.
dinosaurs.
So wait, now over here in Jersey, do you guys have like the movie tavern? Because that thing is like the best thing ever
Movie
invented.
tavern?
There's 2 places over
No,
over
you
my
can't-
side of the
can't
river.
Get
I
any
think
booze with the beer.
there's
or
one
with the
in
movies.
I want to say there's one in like the Fort Washington area, and then there's one out near Collegeville where it's literally called Movie Tavern. And you go in and you sit down in these big, huge, wide seats, but it's got a little fold-up table that comes up, sort of like an old airline
Yep.
old airline seat, and they have wait service, and they got a full menu and a bar, and they will come and wait on you and stuff during the movie. And movie tavern, you give me like a few beers and some mozzarella sticks while I'm watching the movie, I'm good to go. And I can't even tell you the last time I actually went and saw a movie in the theater. It's just not my jam. But
Black Panther for me.
honestly, the last movie I think I saw in the theater was Creed. Maybe.
Creed.
I saw
Yeah.
Creed in concert a bunch of times. Before Scott Stapp.
You would.
Before
you
Scott
would.
Stapp went crazy.
You would.
Ryan says.
Wait,
Tom, you're not a
don't ever
target.
rip on me for being a Nickelback fan. You went and saw Creed.
Ryan says, Tom, you're not a target yet. Mike Parker says, my boy Jordan does like dinosaurs, though. He's older. He's the older one, 19
okay.
months. Well, he's right in that dinosaur stage. And then Ryan says it's about me and him. We don't leave the house. We don't leave. I fucking bonk her head.
Just keep your head down. You won't get shot.
Like when Greg moved in here, he's like, man, you lock a lot of fucking doors. I said, dude, it's like fucking 4 knocks in this bed. Like, I'm locking everything. My wife's like, why do you lock the bedroom door? I said, we lock them all. So we sleep fucking deliciously because you got to get through a lot of shit, and I'm going to hear something, and now you got to play hide and seek in my dark house, and it ain't going to win. You ain't going to win. You know what I mean? Because it comes out of nowhere. Denzel, elbow, and he got game. You know the elbow I'm talking about. The greatest elbow of all time.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Hey, Tom, you want to go to Phillies home opener? Going to the Flyers game that night. I don't know if I can be out of the house for that long.
I'm like Danny. Too many crowds. I don't like people.
So it's like, I don't know. That's a traumatic day.
Once I'm in the stadium, I don't care.
That's a traumatic day. That's like 10 hours of people.
I'm like Nelson and Markel. I got to get to see the shrink afterwards. I got to stop in.
Well, once I'm in the stadium, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, me
I just
too.
mean like walking through.
My first sit down.
But he's got to do
my first sit down. Everybody around me is like,
one day.
Yeah, everybody around me, like my first sit down, I'm like, oh my God, they're going to listen to everything I say. Oh my God. Oh, this is going to be a long, oh my God.
If I go live, they're going to stare at me.
Yeah, so I don't even do it. And then,
which I still think we should have.
So then once I sit down and.
After the game starts, I'm weird. Like every 3 I'm standing, I'm getting creepy. Like
weird.
You're weird as hell. Anyway.
I get weird as hell at Sixers games. I don't even care.
Oh, I know what just happened.
I'm best friends with the dude. Every time I go to a game, I'm always best friends with the dude next to me by the fourth quarter. Like every time.
Jesus Christ! Can you imagine what this kid's going to be when he can drink legally?
Ryan says no one knows where I'm at. He said no one. Yeah. What are you talking about? Chick flicks?
Hey, Brodo gave me a phenomenal film on Creed. Thank you, Mr. Brodo.
Mike Parker says goat elbow. That is the goat elbow.
It is goat
elbow. Denzel, boys, if you didn't see it, he got game. You know what another great movie is for the kids before we get out of here? Is fucking Belly.
There you go.
Belly. You seen Belly? Fucking great one. Great one.
So, Danny, I got to ask, are you best friends with the guy next to you because you're like grappling over the armrest and you got to come to some mutual agreement?
No. Well, we'll start off slow, high five, and then I was like, I don't know. Eventually, we'll get each other's names. Then we just start talking about who we like, who we don't like. Then we'll just start.
Is it like arm around him conversation, or are you just like are you like intensely focused?
Nah, it's like a sports best friend.
I got you.
Like by the end of the night, like we know who we like and don't like.
I got you. I like it.
Sliding each other's DMs.
Yeah. Now it's funny when I was going to the Eagles.
Hit me up on the book.
When I went to the Eagles Raiders game, we were in line like waiting to go in. And I met there's some drunk dude was in front of me. He was like Snapchat, so I got in a Snapchat video. Eventually, me and him are boys now, though. Don't even know who he is.
That's great.
I think his name's Corey.
Ryan said last year's NFL draft was difficult for us, Tom. It was. I said we were scarred for like a month. DMX. Mike Parker, DMX in Belly. Belly's fucking phenomenal.
There you go.
Great one. All right. So Couturier. Real quick.
Does he deserve to be the captain?
Yeah, he better get a letter next year. That boy's a goon.
Well, so does Prove.
Yeah, Prove up too. I was going to say he lost feelings. What's that mean?
But I like what there was one report I didn't like. I liked all them. They were fine. The one that like sort of was like, hey, why are you telling me this now? Was Wayne Simmons. Like, oh, he pulled something in training camp or something was wrong in training camp. And you're like, all right, why do we need to know that now?
Was it like the torn abdominal muscle or something?
Yeah.
I liked it when they said about Jeffrey.
Pelvis. Yeah, the torn pelvis. He had a torn ligament in his thumb. It was a lot of injuries. But, yeah, you're right. To your point, if it's that much, you're hurting the team.
You're hurting the team by
keeping
going.
There, right. Especially all year, because you could have rehabbed and came back for the playoffs and been more of a shell of yourself than you were. Yeah. The Couturier and the Provy injury, those are the ones that really stick in my head. And I know hockey players are tough. I know a lot of them. It's par for the course.
You're
for
absolutely
that
right. You're absolutely right. I mean, I know a lot of the Flyers guys and hockey guys and girls they'll kill me for this, but Giroux had a phenomenal season, a monster season. Him disappearing in the playoffs constantly. He has not had a good playoff series since. Actually, he hasn't had a good playoff game since
2012
the shift against the Penguins. To me,
Andrew McDonald outscored him.
Yeah, to me, if you're going to disappear as soon as the postseason starts every year, you do not deserve to wear the C.
To me, he's never been the C. Never been. There's just been nobody to take it. Now, if it's Provy, if it's Couturier, I don't give a shit. But it's got to be one of them. Because, to me, I try to move him. He had a good year, 100 points.
Same thing with Simmons. I would trade Simmons, too.
Now's the time to move
and
on.
Voracek.
Now's the time to move on. They all come up small in the playoffs. They all do.
I said the same thing.
Voracek comes up small in the playoffs.
Trade all three of them.
Simmons always comes up small in the playoffs. Who came up the biggest? Who had the best playoffs? Well, Sean did.
There's three guys that had the best playoffs. up until the last game, where the 3 guys at least showed up in my mind: Couturier, Provorov, and Patrick.
Yep.
Yeah.
All 3 future captains.
Yep. Agreed. It's time to move on. I got to piss like a motherfucker.
So get us out of here.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck about times because we don't have a producer tonight.
That's what I'm saying.
The fucking kids, they ran off on us. Look, we're still our first topic was messed up. It still says Phillies talk. Well, we started with Sixers talk, fam.
But I know we're trying to get out of here.
We went 3-1-2-4 for the record.
Yeah. The record talk.
The post-game press conference from Provorov is what sold me on him.
Oh, yeah.
The emotion and the fact that he stood up there and took it.
Greg, what are we all about here? Just a guy caring.
Care.
Show you care.
And
even
be
after a
accountable.
loss, right?
And be accountable.
That's the thing with when they found
that?
out Jeffrey. What part of his back was it?
Shoulder, yeah.
Shoulder, yeah.
And the fact that he played the whole season on that when he should have been out for the entire season.
And nobody knows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
There's
I
not a
love that.
word about it. I love it when there's not a word.
I love how the Eagles, because they never had captains before in their history. They finally had captains last year. Jeffrey better get a letter next year.
Oh, yeah. Leaders, listen, leaders, and that's what we found out here. So sometimes in losses where we think it's doom and gloom, roses come out of it.
Yeah.
And the young talent, like you mentioned, is coming out of this, and we're going to be okay. And listen, I'm not here to say Carter Hart's the savior of anything because he very well might not be, or he very well could be. Nobody fucking knows, but you do know that he's at least special, and that to me, he needs to be your starting goaltender next year. I don't give a fuck. Listen, he's 19. He played enough hockey. Time to go. It's not other sports.
Well, he's going to be in the Phantoms anyway.
Oh, I know. But so if you're going to be there, then might as well just be here.
It wouldn't be the first time an NHL team has started a 19-year-old in net.
Who was that team, Mike? Because it wasn't that long ago. You know who that team was? And I'm not even a hockey guy. Wasn't that the Penguins and Mr.
Was it Fleury?
Mark Andre.
Who turned back the clocks.
And Greg and Mike, how did that work out, guys, for that organization?
Pretty good.
Pittsburgh, they sort of things went well after the goal, right? But
after they solidify their goal.
And yeah, we have so much young talent. I think people just need to relax. Like, yes, the G, the Voracek, and the Simmons, I could do without now. I think the time's over. It's time to turn it over. Okay, they had good years where you can get value.
Moran be up next year?
He better be.
He should be.
Because listen, I can't talk.
Moran.
Yeah.
You would have to hope.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's not, there's a
you would have to
problem.
hope because
if Gudas, Manning, or McDonald never played another game in a Flyers uniform,
I hate Manning so much.
Be perfectly fine with that.
I hate Manning.
Mike Parker loves the Graves for the show. He's like the trainer talks like Jeffrey though. And then TTP said, "Did anybody see Bronze Butler beat her?" We heard about it.
Yeah,
we didn't see it because we were watching the Phils.
We'll watch it later.
The block was a goaltending.
We absolutely will. All right, boys, let's get out of here, fam. We love you. Check us over on the HUD Real Talk group. Go over, ask to join. We'll accept you ASAP. Get
Spread
you in
the
there.
word. Invite your friends.
Absolutely, and we'll get in the whole NFL draft tomorrow night. We'll have 5 segments breaking down 6 picks at a time. Charles Moranin, myself. I know Ryan wants to jump in. I think there's 2 other spots. So just hop in with them and fucking do the thing. Or somebody do 5 minutes and another person do 5 minutes. We're going to have a lot of fun over there. Because the Hockey Happy Hour's on and we ain't taking them all for the draft.
No.
Because it is fucking hockey season, baby.
Playoff season.
So their show must go on. So how do we rebound? We go to the HUD Real Sports Talk group. Search it on Facebook. You'll find us.
Real quick,
we'll
though.
Accept you.
Lazy Booking is taking the night off, though, so that those guys can concentrate, myself included, on the draft. Lazy Booking will be back next week. Hockey Happy Hour, regularly scheduled time.
10 o'clock, Hockey Happy Hour.
Boom.
Tomorrow night. And then Sunday we'll have Agree Disagree. Sunday night. And by that point we'll be talking 10-9-8 again for everybody, and we'll be talking who the Eagles picked and what do we like, what do we don't like, and hopefully the Phils stay high. It's a good time to be in the city of brotherly love for another edition of Tom
Mike
AM
in the PA.
HUD Radio. Thank you all for listening. We fucking love you. Thank you, Gibson Mayer, for sponsoring us every week. Our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. For Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mogwig, Dan McGuckin, and all you motherfuckers, we out.
Bedtime.
Night-night. Night-night. Danny.